chess? Screw.
Well, let's play chess.
They give off to Jonathan Taylor. Jump cutting his way close to the goal line. He's in there. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor.
Wheeler finds Quan from the logo.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it. Hits it.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, I'll be completely honest with you. We're going to have to examine your dome if your ass is not out here with us at the dugout outside with Coors Light today off Virginia Avenue. We go through all this crap. Remember about a month and a half ago when we're ass deep in snow and everybody's hating everything? This is a day that will make up for all of it as we go into a weekend at the legendary Dugout. And my man Nick is going to join me coming up in just a little bit. We'll go further explanation about what they have going on. I can tell you this, as I enjoy the ice-cold Coors Light right here, my friends from Coors Light are on hand, I would join me today, just simply put, because these are the most badass koozies I've ever seen in my life right here. These are the Tournament Challenge koozies. And if they don't go off those tables, the people that come down here, I'm taking every last one of these things home. I guarantee you that. So just so you know, off of Virginia Avenue, this is the spot, this is the location, and this is how we get your weekend started right here at the Dugout with a lot that is going on. No doubt, more Colts stuff. We're going to venture into free agency and see where Alec Pierce ends up. I could say this. I could sell Alec Pierce right now with my guys here. I could sell Alec Pierce on staying in Indy with this type of day and this patio at the Dugout. If anybody knows Alec and wants to send him down here, we will have him stay in Indy, and not even the Colts can mess that thing up. We got him. We've got him right here on a day like today. Yeah, you don't want anything to do with New England or any place. You want to be right here. So if anybody wants to send him down, I will give him that pitch, which will be very easy, and we will sell him on that right here today at the Dugout again on Virginia Avenue. And we'll talk about that. We got a lot of that coming up, too, a lot of that conversation regarding the Colts and Zaire Franklin as they're shopping right now. I think what is probably going to happen is you're going to get a late rounder for him, or he's probably going to get cut outright. And you also wonder what the Colts are going to end up doing to try to make some headway on the salary cap. So who's going to get some money spread out? Who are you going to renegotiate with? You know, all that stuff is going on right now. And listen, I know normally you hear this dialogue that happens whenever you're talking about a team that's good, when you're talking about a team that's had success, has results. And with this situation, you're not talking about that whatsoever. And it's another layer, another level, if you will, of maddening material from the Colts. It is. I don't know if you heard Mike Chappell and I talking yesterday. I'll get to that in a second. But on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, because we got to hustle him in today because he's got stuff to do. The voice of the Hoosiers over in Columbus coming up tomorrow with IU and Ohio State, the regular season finale for the Hoosiers. And Don Fisher joins us now. Good afternoon, Don. How are you?
I'm good, John. How about yourself?
Are you southbound on I-69 right now?
I am southbound. Not quite to Bloomington just yet, but getting close.
Can I guess? I'm going to guess how fast you're going right now. Can I guess?
You can guess, but you're going to get it wrong.
You're going 77 miles an hour.
You're too off.
I knew it.
2 mph off, yes.
There's way too much. There's too much road noise and wind for you to be going slower than 77. So I thought that was a good place to start.
Not bad.
I know this. Just watch for that Barney Fife guy that hides in the weeds right there across from Martinsville High School, right there in the median. Because Fife covers up in bushes right there to get you.
Well, I got past him some time back.
Oh, okay, I got you. Voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fisher. I want to double back to last time out. It was senior night in Bloomington, and they get a much-needed win over Minnesota. That was an absolute have-to. Did you see this team find anything that is transferable, let's just say, for example, with the offensive game and consistency that maybe Hoosier fans can see coming up tomorrow afternoon in a much-needed affair in Columbus against Ohio State?
Well, let's hope it transfers because they're going to need it against this Buckeye ball club. Ohio State's been playing really good basketball a good portion of the season. They're a lot like Indiana. They get a little bit better record. It's not dramatically better, but it's a little bit better. And they've been inconsistent too, but they have had some ball games where they have just been lights out. And obviously they've won 2 in a row, and they beat Purdue and Penn State back-to-back games. And anytime you beat Purdue, you're beating a really good basketball team. So Penn State, not so much, but there's no doubt that Ohio State's got capability. Their 2 guards, Bruce Thornton and John Mobley Jr., are really maybe the best tandem of 2 guards in the league. And I'm saying that because I haven't seen everybody more than one time this year, but I've seen them play a couple times, and I think that combination is one of the better ones in the league.
I think about this with Thornton in mind. He's a guy that, and this is just me, I would always want to have a dude like that on my team, Don. He just seems like he's going to go get it no matter the situation, the scoreboard, whatever. You're always going to get that similar, balls to the wall type of effort. I think as basketball fans we all look for. I've had a great deal of admiration for his play since he's been there. Well,
and that you should, because he is a 4-year guy. He came there as a freshman, was named a co-captain after the freshman season, which tells you this is maybe the first 4-time winner of a co-captaincy at Ohio State in basketball. I don't know that for a fact, but I think I've heard that he might be the lone guy that's ever done that. On top of that, he is, I think, just 12 points away from breaking the Ohio State record for most points in a career. I think he's got 2019 right now. And Dennis Hobson, I think, is the guy that he's going to pass probably in our ball game because he only needs 12 points to become their all-time scoring leader.
Man, that is some good company right there, too, because we always remember that name in Ohio State terms of Dennis Hobson back in the day. That is a high-level accomplishment. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers. He is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. This seems like, to me, you get Minnesota and you get that little springboard. And you mentioned, I think you're right, these are 2 light teams in Ohio State and Indiana coming up tomorrow. Is this kind of a win in your end situation? The losers certainly will have to do a lot more work in the Big Ten Conference Tournament in Chicago coming up next week, I would guess.
Well, right now, if you look at it, I think Ohio State has a chance to be the 8th seed and maybe even the 7th seed if they win this ball game. And I think the lowest they can be is the 8th seed. So they look right now like they could be in, even over Indiana at this point, even if Indiana wins this ball game, but maybe both will make it. All I'm saying is at this juncture, I take that back. I think Ohio State's going to be the 8th seed or the 9th. But at any rate, the point I'm trying to make here is that they're very close. And both of these teams want it badly to make the NCAA tournament. Second year for Jake Diebler as their coach, and the first year for Darren DeVries for Indiana. And both teams want to make this NCAA tournament. That would be the spark that would help the program, no question, especially from Indiana's perspective right now. And Ohio State feels exactly the same way. So, and here's the other thing about their likenesses of one another this year. Neither one of these teams is a great rebounding team. Ohio State's not either. Their SID told me today that the 7-foot kid that they've got plays like a 6'3" kid. So that being said, I think both these teams will match up well. The question will be who executes the best, who is running their offense the best. with Thornton and Mobley Jr., I think they've got the advantage in that regard. But I don't think there's any question that if Indiana plays like they did against Minnesota, like they've done so many times this year when they've had ball games that were kind of must-type scenarios, that they have really done a pretty good job. Obviously, the Northwestern game most recently was a disappointment, but at the same time, they still have a chance. And just like Dumb and Dumber, if you're saying I got a chance, so I think that's what you got to look at.
Yeah. So, voice of the Hoosiers, yeah, no doubt. Voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fishers on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I want to give credit where credit is due. I think we have seen a really solid / positive maturation, evolution, if you will, of Sam Alexis for this team in this 1 year this season. He's impressed me a great deal in how he's come along.
I agree, John. I think here in the latter third of the season here, he has really come on big time, and he has been a presence in virtually every ball game. Not necessarily so much statistically, but how he plays defense, how hard he plays at the defensive end of the floor, the fact that they're utilizing him a lot more now on inside play and getting the ball to him in good positions to finish. I think he's played terrific, and of course he had a season high 23, without doubt, probably one of the best games he's played in his career. He never got a lot of opportunities at Florida. He was coming off the bench and he played several games, but he also had some injury problems down there. And so he was at Chattanooga before that. And I think his season or his career high is 27 points. He had 23 in that game against Minnesota, and he pretty much dominated the post play in that contest. So I agree with you, John. I think that Sam has played tremendous. He's really helped this ball club turn things around a little bit here at the end. Hopefully that will play a big role in that tonight as well, or tomorrow night as well, because, again, this is a huge ball game from Indiana's perspective. I think that if Indiana can win it, I think they've got a good chance of making the NCAA tournament field. If they don't win it, then they're going to have a run in the NCAA or in the Big Ten tournament to have a chance.
Hey, Don, Lamar Wilkerson's been a fantastic offensive player. To what level, and you don't need to make any comparisons personality-wise on this, but to what level have you seen him evolve as well, especially offensively, because he has, more than anybody else, been consistently a high-level player that this team has counted on the entire year?
Well, they have, and that's the reason that Darren DeVries went after him as hard as he did. He felt like Lamar had to be a factor, or would be a factor for this ball club from a scoring perspective, and he has delivered on that in a big way. He's averaging over 20 points a ball game. In Big Ten play, almost 23, or at 23 right now, I think. He's just been so consistent with his play throughout the year. Naturally, like everybody, he's gone through a little bit of a slump, but it was a short slump. I think he had this 2 or 3 games where he wasn't producing like he had previously, and then there was a whole slew of ball games where he was scoring 20 to 30 points in almost every ball game. And of course, he had a 44-point performance, and he's had a 41-point performance this year. When's the last time an Indiana player had done that? So he's been everything that we anticipated that he would be from an offensive standpoint.
You know, Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, joins us. Before I let you go as well, I can't imagine how much better this team would be and more consistent, as you mentioned, he would have been had the other consistencies about this team offensively would have been there this year. Because I think some of his inconsistency, I think, is certainly a byproduct of just what we have seen up and down-wise from the team offensively overall.
Right. There's no doubt. I mean, the inconsistency of this ball club has been primarily because of their inside game, not their inside game necessarily so much, but the inability to be really strong on the boards. Rebounding is such a critical piece to any basketball team these days. And if you don't have that physical size, if you don't have that physicality inside, it's a really tough thing to deal with. And your ball club can't be at its best, because if you got an inside presence, you're going to be able to spread the floor with your shooters. And there's no doubt that Indiana took advantage of that at times this year. But that inconsistency boils down to the fact that has been as consistent inside as you would like. Production-wise, anywhere close to what they needed to be in some of these ball games. And at this juncture of the season, that's when he's been
Don,
playing
maybe
this well.
go. Yeah. I'm sorry, Don. You cut out there for a minute. Continue. Sorry. Yeah, I got you, buddy. Go ahead.
All I'm saying is the inconsistency of Indiana's inside play this season has been a detriment at times, and at other times it's been a big force. So right now, all we can say is Indiana's got a great opportunity, and I'm pulling into the airport down here in Bloomington. That's probably why you're going to have a problem hearing me at some point.
Oh, well, let's we got to get you on that plane then, don't we? You got to hustle you up there.
Yeah, we'll be up there.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I got one of my great high school friends of all time. Their backyard overlooks the runway right there at the Monroe County Airport. The awesome Elise Fields Wellman right there. So you're going to be taking off, and they can go out there and wave at you whenever you guys take off for Columbus coming up here in just a little bit. Hey, right. I did want to tell you this. I saw Tyreek Tucker yesterday, and we were doing something prior to the Final Four, a three-point shootout and such, and he was over there too. He's a good dude. I like talking to him. Great guy.
Yeah. He is. He's a really good guy. No question.
He is. All right. Hey, get that flight. All right. And we'll talk at you next week. And obviously you're going to be, we'll see what happens up in Chicago, but we'll track you down at some point next week, Don. Safe travels, buddy.
Thanks for having me, John. See you, buddy.
Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. He's getting ready to take off from Monroe County Airport. Got IU and Ohio State coming up tomorrow. And I think a lot of people, we had Joe Lenardi on yesterday, the bracketologist of ESPN, and he didn't think this was necessarily an elimination game if IU loses, but I think you'd be counting on a great deal to go right. And in terms of the football program, I think you've counted on a great deal of things to go right, and it has gone right. With the basketball program, that is still a work in progress, without a doubt. So you got that with Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I should also mention you've got Purdue and Wisconsin coming up tomorrow. Butler is a noon start, 11:30 your coverage right here on the Fan. Butler and DePaul as the Dogs close out the regular season. In the Big East coming up tomorrow, get ready for Madison Square Garden and the Big East Conference Tournament. So there is a ton going on. I did eyeball last night the Sycamores of Indiana State, and they tried. They tried to catapult from the enthusiasm and the juice that I brought to the Holman Center with them on Sunday and their win over UIC. Alas, the problem did remain. They're just not any good. And if you watch them, they had a 10-point lead a couple of different times, and Valpo looked pretty terrible too. And then Valpo comes from behind, and they win by one, and Indiana State is done. So, I mean, seriously, you're going to get matched up against Bradley later on tonight. That would have probably been an exit, but you always want to win that next one in front of you. And now, unfortunately for Matt Graves and company, that last night did not end well. However, if you've watched the Sycamores the entire year, that ended quite like most of their games, or a lot of their games have. They will lead for a certain period of time. You get to the end of the game, and they gag it away. And you saw that. It's going to be interesting to see. It always is, right, with the transfer portal. The transfer portal is going to be flowing. Absolutely flowing, and that is going to be hellaciously interesting to see, not just with that, but when other schools, I mean, hell, you can see it right now if you want to, but when other schools are eliminated and done playing, that transfer portal is going to be something we'll all watch, because that is the nature of the game where we are today. Where I am today, the Dugout with Coors Light. We're off Virginia. Again, my advice to you is to join us, because this is a spectacular place. Dick Baxter is going to join us. He runs the joint coming up a little bit later on. We're actually outside. This is such a glorious early March day that we felt compelled to do this show out here on their glorious patio off of Virginia. Actually, Virginia and Stevens, and really Virginia and College is our location. I mean, hell, if you haven't been here, where have you been? to the dugout, and we're going to be here until 6 o'clock, and hell, I'll probably be here until much later than that. So stop by. I've watched people. We got a little basketball shooting going on. I know one thing I can't call it because whenever I do, somebody gets pissed and then calls me and gives me a cease and desist. So we've got 2 basketball goals, and you can shoot on them for prizes, I'm assuming. And that comes off of yesterday. Again, a shout-out to everybody that joined me out of Hinkle Fieldhouse yesterday. That was an absolute glorious time. I have never in my life had my jumper picked apart as I have had my jumper picked apart in the last 24 hours or so. Even when I was on my way over today, some dude said, "That's the worst form I've ever seen. What an awful form." And I said, "Hey, jackass, I don't care what the form looks like. The shot goes in. That's what matters. I mean, I could punt it up there. You can fart it up there. I don't care how it gets up there, but the nature of the game is for it to go in. For it to go in." And thank you very much for adding another layer of debate on this show, because that's exactly what we need. And you need an ice-cold Coors Light, and you need to be here on Virginia Avenue at the Dugout. I see my man. I'm waving at you over there, J-Law. J-Law is here from Westfield hanging out. I'm assuming I see Paul the mailman over there, so I'm assuming Matt Bailey is on the inbound at some point here. One of the Greene County legends to join a little bit later on. We've got a band here later on tonight and a lot more for you. And I have not overlooked the fact that sectional semifinal Friday night is among the busiest in the state of Indiana sports-wise, because you have most schools, most parents, most family members are somewhere tonight and out and about watching a game. So I understand that, but make sure you're a part of this and where we are at the Dugout. Nick Baxter is going to join us coming up on the other side. So will Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk. We'll line up those sectional semifinals and what could be the final matchups coming up tomorrow night, and also the final regular season weekend of college basketball, certainly around here, is going to take place. Bob Lovell is going to join us with that. Now, I didn't see this. Do we have a Mike Wells sighting today, James, or did I overlook a text from you a little bit earlier? What's the ETA on Mike?
We do have Mike at 4:30 today.
So, wait a minute. Mike Wells has, quote, decided to grace us with his presence.
He has.
Is that what you're saying?
I am.
Well, hell. That's just fantastic. I think Kevin Lee is going to join us a little bit later on, too. You got IndyCar tomorrow in Phoenix. And also, you had Jackson Lee in the Truck Series race last week down in St. Pete. Kev's going to join us. Brandon Gaudin's also going on the show a little bit later on. Hey, we are good to go. The Dugout, that's where we are, off Virginia. Virginia and College with Coors Light. Man, join us here. We've got stuff to give away. We have a basketball shooting game, and we're outside on the patio when it's 75 degrees in early March. You cannot beat it. To stream the app, HD Radio, AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. Become a AAA member today. Somebody's got to have your back when you center cut one of these canyons in the middle of the road out here in central Indiana. Tire, bent rim, this is all stuff you don't want to jack around with on the side of the road. AAA likes jacking around with it, and they will jack around with it for you. AAA.com, or download the AAA app to your smartphone, hit a button, become a AAA member today. Quick break. We'll come back to the Dugout off Virginia and College. Don't go anywhere. It's 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Hey, John here for, you got that right, the District Tap, Clearwater Crossing, Northside, downtown Indianapolis. If you're in and around the women's tournament, you know that to be true. Hold up at the District Tap, both pregame, postgame there, too. You got great food. You've got happy hour specials, all that is going on with live music at the District Tap. And Northside, Clearwater Crossing, that is a Hamilton County, Northern Marion County destination location, the District Tap. Ask about the live music. Ask about the event space, the private event room, and more. That's online, thedistricttap.com today. This is what I'm talking about. It is Big Red Liquors powers the JMV Takeover every Saturday night, 6 until midnight on B105.7. Also making sure that you're set for a day like today. Maybe this is just you in and around your location, right? Your home based up. You've got the ice-cold Coors Light ready to go with Big Red Liquors right now, too. And also, hey, go in there and keep in mind, you got to be 21 plus, but you can enter every day to be involved in a lottery to purchase a bottle of Pappy. And I've watched you guys before, the way you guys deal with Pappy. You guys are fighting over Pappy Van Winkle, even if it's not given away for free, even if it's just yours to buy. These are things that people love. Pappy Van Winkle, the lottery is going to happen later on this month. You can get signed up for that at one of your 100-plus locations of Big Red Liquors. You can find that Red Hot Deals, Speakeasy Deals, and know that this powers the JMV Takeover every Saturday night on B105.7. You can find it, BigRedLiquors.com.
The Ride with JMV.
Now you listen here. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, the glorious behavior being outside here near southeast side of downtown Indianapolis. The Dugout Bar. Coors Light brings us to you. They've got the most awesome koozies I've ever seen over here in the shape of a basketball hoop. I'm telling you, you guys either get those or I'm going to take every one of those bad boys home. I promise you that. Great food, ice cold Coors Light. I just need to see you guys here. I need a little proof of life because we've all been holed up in the cold and the snow, and it sucked. And this is the first real non-suck day we've had in a long time, so let's take full advantage of that. Why don't we patio outside, in fact, and Nick Baxter's going to join us. They've got live music coming up later on tonight. Big weekend going on here. We are at the Hey, good to hear you guys over there. Shout out. IFD's in the house right there. Come on over here and hang out with the show. Get your take on Alec Pierce in just a second. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, I need his take because this probably goes down as one of the more popular Friday nights on the sports calendar. That is boys sectional semifinal Friday night. And laying it out for us from Indiana Sports Talk, it's Bob Lovell. Hello, Bob. How are you?
I'm doing well, John. Thanks for having me.
You've got one busy-ass Friday night coming up for you, don't you?
I would anticipate we'll have a few calls and talk about a little bit of basketball tonight.
This is what I gather between in the comparison between like the girls' basketball and we saw last week what took place, and obviously unbeaten Center Grove, which I know very well, was awesome. I know Roncalli fell a little bit short in the 3A bid to win it all, but just an awesome season. But what occurs to me is you don't get, I don't think, in the girls' basketball level, maybe the competitive balance at this level of the tournament as you do with the boys around the state. Is that fair to say?
I would agree with that to a certain extent. I think you look at it, on the girls' side, Borden was the odds-on favorite to repeat in single A, so that's a class that you had. And I think maybe the other three classes were relatively balanced, but the thing with the boys is, and I couldn't tell you who would win the championships. I mean, there's some really, really good teams, and some good teams have already been beaten. Earlier in the week, you had Portage up in the northern part of the state who was having a great year, won a school record for wins and all this, and beating some really, really good teams. They get eliminated on Tuesday night. So, that's why it's interesting when you have a tournament where everybody's in it. You got to be playing your best basketball no matter what.
All right, give us a rundown. Let's start locally here. Some of the great Friday night stuff we got working.
I think the overwhelming game is Fisher's HSE. You start there and literally work your way back. Same school corporation. The run that Fishers is on is amazing. Just nothing short of amazing. And so they're ranked number one all year. Lost last year, going into the at the end of the regular season. They were the odds-on favorite to win. They didn't win. They come back literally with a vengeance. Playing an HSE team. This is number 1 versus 12 if rankings matter. So I would start with that. And in my heart is really back home in Plainfield, where Pike comes in and takes on my beloved Quakers. So that's number 3 and number 5. Those are two. Think about this, semifinal Friday, and you're starting with those types of games. That kind of shows you where you are in terms of competitive Friday.
Yeah, Plainfield Pike may be the best on the schedule on a Friday night. That is right there because I think there's a mixture of a little bit of everything in that matchup tonight, Bob.
Well, I think you're right. Number 1, Pike, in talent-wise, maybe as talented as any team in the state. Quakes have played awfully well. It's that home court situation. I don't know that you have an advantage in a game like this when you have two really, really talented teams. And so these are both teams capable, I think, of playing for a state championship. The problem is they have to get by one another.
Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk, he's going to be chatting it up talking with those that are a part of it later on tonight. Again, boys sectional semifinal Friday night is what is on tap. And then, of course, he'll be on tomorrow night for the sectional finals. Bob, is there an argument to be made that among those dates on the calendar for the boys basketball season, is this the best one, this Friday night?
I always think it is, John, because you get, double your pleasure, so to speak. In a lot of these venues, you have tremendous games, tremendous matchups. And I'm talking about all the way through 1A, 2A, all the way to 4A. And so, you get obviously you have 2 ball games. I mean, the drama will be higher tomorrow night in terms of playing for a championship. But, I mean, semifinal Friday night where the pressure is clearly on you, win and you get a chance to play for a championship, lose and your season is over, and you get that repeated on 2 games in the same spot during semifinal Friday night. And so just by the sheer volume of the number of great games you have, this is one of the special nights of the year.
So Bob Lovell's got that, and then tomorrow you got college basketball, final weekend of the regular season. We'll find both Mackey Arena busy with senior day for the Boilermakers against Wisconsin, IU on the road, and what is coming down to basically a must-win situation for them over in Columbus versus Ohio State. Butler on the road at DePaul. Hey, I want to close this out with you. I was talking to Grant Leindecker, who's the director of athletics for Butler, on Wednesday when I was over there. And he had mentioned that we are probably very close now to starting to see, those the Netflix and the Amazons of the world start dictating terms on schedules and games and tournaments and matchups. Well, I'm assuming we're going down the line very soon where the NCAA tournament is going to just involve everybody, is it not?
That drumbeat has started. And it's, I think, building up in steam, so to speak. I think that I'm a traditionalist in many things. That would be one of them. I think the tournament is great where you are. And I think when you add, the more you add teams, the more you dilute the competitive nature of what you're doing. You own the month of March. My suggestion would be try not to screw it up. But if you're bound and determined to do it, I don't think any of us can stop. And these forces, like you're talking about, the delivery platforms for people to watch games is in a different world anyway. All you have to do is think about trying to watch the Pacers or even trying to watch college basketball. It's hard to do, and you got to feed the beast. And the beast is college sports. And the beast is spending a ton of money. Spending more. And if you look around, most of these athletic programs are going to run a deficit. It's amazing the number of Division I power conference type programs run a deficit at the end of the year after making millions and millions and millions of dollars. So they got to come up with revenue streams. And if your streaming services are out there willing to play the game, you might as well add them. And if you do that, you're going to demand more opportunities to watch ball, which means more teams. And so be hard not to have, I think, an increase in the number of programs.
Yeah, it is all covered, no doubt about that. So Bob's got you covered tonight on a busy Friday night, busy Saturday for you. Indiana Sports Talk around the state of Indiana. The Network Indiana affiliates will have Bob's show. And Bob's with us on this Friday on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. It is a pleasure. Man, keep it tight coming up tonight. Tomorrow night, you're going to be busy, buddy.
I appreciate it, John. Thanks for the call.
Bob Lovell on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. The Dugout with Coors Light, our location, Virginia and College. And look who it is. Nick Baxter, the pride of CG, is right across from me right here. What? This patio was awesome. Was this your idea?
It was.
Will you take full credit for this?
I can officially take full credit.
You take full credit for the weather that's going on out here, too?
Yeah, we planned this well, didn't we?
Yeah, because last week it sucked. It was like freezing cold last week, and today this is like a little makeup day for all we've gone through basically since the turn of the calendar, which has stunk.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
This is it.
These are bonus days for sure. So come on out. We're open. Come get a Tenderloin. Drink a Coors Light, Miller Lite. Yeah, just happy to be out here enjoying the weather.
So did the firemen pull up because this show's so damn hot? Is that why?
That's right.
That's
right.
Yeah. I'm going to get a picture of that and put that up. So you got somebody out here live music-wise later on tonight, too, don't you?
Yeah.
What we got?
Mark Imbotten. He's just going to do a little solo acoustic show, probably starting right after you guys get done. So probably let that run until it cools off.
That is well done. Now, I see Paul the mailman. I don't see Matt Bailey anywhere. Where's Matt Bailey? Because I know the dude doesn't work a second. What's happening?
I'm sure he's just around the corner. He'll probably be here any moment.
He doesn't drink too much beer, does he?
No. He's got his own line in the
I bet he does. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I tell you what, we'll take a break and we'll come back. You want to stick with me for a minute?
Sure.
Because I want to talk about what is left for the weekend, too, and then what you got coming up. Because I think we're going to start, hopefully, having more days like today than not. And this patio has evolved to something absolutely awesome, Nick. So sit tight, okay?
Sounds good.
Nick Baxter is with us. So the Dugout Coors Light brings us to you. We're off of Virginia and College and would love to see you on the southeast side of Indianapolis. There's a lot more for you, too. Kevin Lee, Mike Wells, Brandon Gaudin on a busy Friday. We're outside on the patio. And our friends from Coors Light are rocking some great stuff. I mentioned the koozies, but there's a basketball shooting game. And I shoot a little bit. I've shot a little bit last couple of days, so we're ready to do that. Now, it is not quite, and I'm not going to say what it's normally called because then somebody's going to send me a cease and desist, but it is smaller than usual basketball is what we have going on. For prizes with Coors Light, get here, patio, Dugout, Virginia Avenue on a Friday that is glorious. We just need to see you. AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live at 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. All right, so that was Gary Harris of Hamilton Southeastern, 2012 sectional, half-court shot for Gary. Did you guys know that he learned that from his mom, Joy? And you know that his father, Gary Harris Sr., had zero to do with anything of that moment, right? We love Gary Sr., though. We have and always will. 2012 sectional. What I'm talking about now is the type of action that you're going to see, that you could see around the state of Indiana later on tonight. Sectional semifinal Friday night, and they've got you covered across the state of Indiana. To find the games that you want, ihsaa.org. Do that today.
But I stopped in to see him.
The Ride with JMV.
2 more minutes. They could be miles off course. That's impossible. They're on instruments. This is going to be a real sweat.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Friends, this is Virginia Avenue in College. This is the Dugout with Coors Light. Thank you for joining us. And before I dive back into this with my friend Nick Baxter, I did want to tell you, the Fan Invitational, I need some proof that you guys are signing up because the early bird special ends at 6 o'clock. So stop jacking around because this is going to be on the 30th of April at Legends. Shout out to Ted Bishop down at Legends in Franklin. It is golf. And then especially all you clowns that are challenging my skill yesterday of winning that three-point shootout at Hinkle, hey, that's where you can challenge me. You don't have to yip-yap with a fake name on X and tell me how you could bury me by 10 and I'd beat you. All right, then you'll get your opportunity because the goal is going to be there. I'll be there, and then you can get your chance to outshoot me. And I'll kick your ass, and then you'll go home. But you'll have a good time after you get your ass whipped and you go home. So it'll be good. And you can play some golf and eat and drink, and it will be fantastic. Plus, right now, I'm going to give you the heads up. You can take advantage of the early bird special, but only until 6 o'clock. So 317-239-1070. At the very least, let me know that you're signing up, because I want to make sure everybody's involved with this. This is going to be so much fun. We moved it from August to April because we can get more people, a lot more people at that time of year. So let's see you there, and let's see you sign up. 317-239-1070 is the text line. Let me know when you sign up. And in fact, if you want to challenge me to shoot, that's what this is all about. But I'm not going to drive all over central Indiana to shoot you on your goal hanging from your garage, okay? I'm probably not going to do that. But otherwise, we'll do it there. Put your money where your mouth is, everybody. We'll do it. 1075thefan.com. The Dugout with Coors Light, and there's Nick Baxter right over there. You got things to do this weekend besides this? Is this golf weather for Nick Baxter?
Yeah, it definitely is golf weather. But you wake up, you look at the weather on your phone, and just try to plan from there. So this day kind of popped up out of nowhere.
It kind of evolved. It was like rainy. It was going to be warm but rainy, and now it's spectacular.
Yeah, I wish I was golfing, but we're here trying to make some money. So come on out, drink a Coors Light.
Oh, man, and they keep bringing me Coors Light here, and they want me to stay forever.
That's right.
Which is great, and I don't mind that whatsoever. Yeah. Hey, what else you got working this weekend too? I should mention.
Best time of the year. Big Ten basketball. Getting ready to go right into the Big Ten tournament, and then into March Madness. So we're just kind of getting geared up for that. Make sure we've got enough beer for everybody. 25 TVs. It's been a cold winter. February is kind of brutal.
But you guys still kick ass in there, though. That's one thing to say.
That's true.
No doubt. Even when it's cold and snowy, you guys – because I remember when the place was much smaller.
It's evolved over time.
It has evolved,
Yep, absolutely.
In a good way.
Yep. 9 years. 9 years since we took ownership in June. And just little by little, it's kind of grown to what it is now. But great place to watch games. And, when the weather breaks here, it's like having the Rolling Stones out here on the patio. Everybody flocks there, and it's a good time.
It is like what I say about Carb Day. And by the way, I think the Carb Day announcement is coming up in the not-so-distant future. I will tell everybody that. But what I say is you could have a dude with a microphone that, makes fart sounds with his armpits. And everybody goes, oh, man, that's great. Those are great fart sounds with the armpits. Nobody cares because it's all about – that's why I tell everybody right now, even if you have a destination later on tonight, join us because we don't get a lot of days like this, and we haven't had one of these days in stinking forever. So let's take advantage of it right now. And you have cobbled together one of the greatest outdoor spots in central Indiana, which is awesome.
Yeah, thanks for the compliment.
Hell yes.
Yeah. No, I got great staff.
Make up for me seeing you in the airport and not remembering it.
Yeah. Last time I saw you, it was
I was such a mess down there, Nick, man. God dang. I mean, I was down there by myself, and I almost missed my flight twice. I was literally the last person on the plane both going down and coming back. I don't even know what the odds are of that. So I had no choice of where I sat. I had to sit between two dudes and in the very back of the plane.
Good final result down there in Miami.
Nick, was there anything like that place in that moment? It was second to me to the Miracle on Ice for the greatest moment I've ever seen. Seriously. Because there was so much that went into it. We knew the laughing stock that it was, and to get to that moment was unbelievable, was mind-blowing, and that's where it ranks.
Yeah, having gone to watch a lot of IU football games in the mid to late 80s with my dad, to see just to kind of see where we ended up, where we were, was just it was special. So it was, and I was fortunate enough to go to all those playoff games. And
you're fortunate enough to get back from Pasadena with Matt Bailey. I don't know how that happened. You went to Pasadena, Atlanta, and South Florida, didn't you?
I did. Yep, absolutely. We didn't want to miss it. So yeah, great final result.
That's something you're not going to want to miss too. And then you just kind of think about next year. I was yesterday at Hinkle in a 3-point shootout, and Tyreek Tucker was up there. I think he was kind of brought in by the group, and it was promoting the Final Four 3-point shootout and slam dunk competition that they're going to have. And he was up there, and just you kind of talking to him, it's still how it resonates with you, especially if you're involved like that. How cool that is. And I'm not going to say for them it was unexpected, because it seems like those guys had an inkling about what was going on and what was being created down there long before any of us did.
Yeah, certainly had that swagger for sure. I mean, it's just, they 4-0, 5-0, 6-0. There's still a lot of non-believers out there, but I mean, to rattle the last three off is, pretty special.
Incredible. That's Nick Baxter right there too. You ever go play CG in the Vandy? You play in West Gym ever? Get over there and play, or you just watch when you're over there?
Mainly just watch. No, I don't usually play any of the pickup games.
Yeah, I told you that the AD Joe left me a broom for the West Gym. I complain all the time about how dirty the West Gym, which is just beyond dirty all the time.
I'm sure Joe loves that. I'm sure he loves everybody telling him how to do his job.
Well, they're especially going to be doing that right now. Hey, Joe, man. By the way, Joe, I've got an idea for you. Just send me a text, and we'll go back and forth. No, but I think this was done purposely. They left me a broom on Tuesday night, and the thing looked like a barber's whisk broom or something like that in a barber shop. It was like this big. I thought, it'd take me like all day to end up sweeping it with this thing. Thanks a lot, buddy. Appreciate it. He is a great dude, though.
Yep.
Great dude. But, going to have a little movement going on, obviously, at the varsity level for the boys. And the girls were absolutely incredible. Unbeaten. Grayson Gilliard, CG, better be the Miss Basketball. There's nobody else to be Miss Basketball. She is absolutely it. And some awesome things happen down there. No doubt about it, too. Yep. And we'll see what happens with the next step with the fellas, no doubt about that. Nick, you going to join us a little bit later on the show, too?
Sure.
All right, let's rally the troops here with Coors Light, Dugout Bar, Virginia and College, our location. We've got Kevin Lee, we've got Brandon Godden, we've got Mike Wells still to come. Got your chance at tickets. His name is Tucker Wetmore, and he's the country music guy. He's coming to Everwise. I've got tickets for that, and I have tickets for Sting. Sting is coming to the Murao National Center in October with all the Police hits and all his solo stuff. I've got tickets to give away for that as well. That and more coming up the rest of the show. JMV Takeover tomorrow night, by the way, B105.76 until midnight. JMV Takeover. People have asked what it's going to be about. This is going to be one of those anything goes, everything kind of deals coming up tomorrow night. Because it's one of those hellers. It's just going to be 6 until midnight tomorrow night, the JMV Takeover on B105.7. Quick break, we'll come back. Hour 2, straight ahead. Virginia College, the Dugout with Coors Light, 93.5, 107.5, The Fan. Hey, it's John here for Premier Weight Loss. What a great idea Premier Weight Loss was for me. Can you believe I sat seriously before Thomas and Sam and I said, hey, before I embark on my weight loss journey, I don't think I need to lose any weight. I did. And then I got on the scale and I weighed 256 pounds. And I thought, well, who's on here with me? Who's dragged this piano on my back? It was problematic. It really was. Clearly, I needed to lose weight, and I did thanks to Thomas and Sam and Lauren and my friends at Premier Weight Loss. And what is great about it, they keep track of my weight loss journey every single month, how I'm doing, and then how it pertains to my level of health. And they also have this to offer for you at pwlnd.com. If you're looking for the electronic toning machine, they've got that, and I can tell you, I've done it 12 times. That absolutely works. And the higher you go, the more results you're going to see as well with the electronic toning machine. You also have Botox. You have skin tightening. You have everything you need, including your weight loss journey, all at one place. That is Premier Weight Loss. So tell them I sent you today, pwlnd.com. I'm telling you, you start right now, you're going to look beach bod ready by the time late spring and early summer rolls around. That's pwlnd.com. Tell them JMV sent you.
The Ride with JMV.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, I mentioned JMV Takeover's coming up tomorrow night. You know what's weird? I just saw this. I want to say this shows at the Vogue. Gary Newman and this song, one-hit wonder from the 80s. I think you got Gary Newman coming up later. Maybe that's April. I think Gary Newman, Thomas Dolby. Then you got David Byrne at the Mirage Old National Center coming up in early May. Actually, 2 shows. David Byrne, of course, the lead, longtime lead of Talking Heads. You've got Devo coming up early June. That is a hell of a schedule. Well done. It's almost like, seriously, it's almost like that those at the Mirage and the Vogue, they're saying, hey, JMV, who should we bring in so everybody get really excited about it? That's well done. The Dugout, Coors Light brings us to you, Virginia and College. Pacers in action later on tonight. They get the Lakers, a 10:30 tip time, 10 o'clock your coverage. Pat Boylan on the pregame show right here on The Fan. IU, Ohio State tomorrow. Purdue, Wisconsin, and Mackey tomorrow. Butler on the road at DePaul and Chicago tomorrow. More on that in a second. But IndyCar coming off a St. Pete debut last weekend on the road in Arizona, Phoenix. Avondale, I believe, right, is how you pronounce it, coming up this weekend. In fact, tomorrow, and from Fox, our good friend Kevin Lee joins us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So how does this Saturday affair come about? Is this coupling this with NASCAR? How does this work, Kev?
I think it's really with Fox. Fox is the home of NASCAR at the beginning of the season. It's the home of IndyCar for the entire season, and it's good cross-promotion. And this got done partly because of necessity during COVID at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on a road course weekend, but, you know, a bit of a trade-off. The Trucks Series was welcome to St. Pete to run with IndyCar last weekend, and that was a huge success. Big crowd on Saturday, over 1 million viewers on network television, and this is going to be pretty full, I'm told, tomorrow. Already ticket sales for Saturday, which is normally in Xfinity. It's now called the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, the number 2 level in NASCAR. Ticket sales are up 100%. So that means twice the crowd tomorrow. All the suites are sold and all the camping areas, just massive. And the Cup crowd is even better because people are staying the entire weekend. So this might open up some more opportunities. IndyCar fans have wanted to get back to places like Phoenix, and it frankly has been challenging to draw enough people to make it happen. So this is a way to kind of expose IndyCar to some other people and also expose NASCAR to some IndyCar people. So I think it's a win for everyone.
Hey, Kev, I'm going to ask you an incredibly silly question, okay? But I think it's okay because, you know, Fox, you know, has the broadcast rights to both to a degree, especially with NASCAR to a degree. Is this the future, trying to couple both of these series together? Maybe not all the time, but at least periodically to bring in maybe some new eyeballs. Is this the future?
I think they'd like to, and this has been of interest for a long time, and it probably was more convincing NASCAR to do it because they likely felt like we don't really need it, and we're not sure if we want another racing series here that is 30 miles an hour faster than us. So Fox, and I don't know this, I'm speaking off my opinion, Fox was probably the motivator in this, is that, hey, we're the television partner. This helps save us some money. You know, we just bring out one set of trucks. We've got some announcers that are doing both, and we're going to promote the Cup race on Saturday with IndyCar and vice versa. So I don't think you'll see this more than a couple of times a year, but you might look at that. Maybe it's a way for IndyCar to get back to Kansas. It really only works in the first third of the NASCAR season because once you get into the Amazon or the Turner or the NBC portion, there's not much of a promotional advantage between the two networks. So it's got to happen in the first couple of months of the season.
Now, here's Kevin Lee of Fox. I was going to ask you this as well. What tracks would it work with? You mentioned Kansas. Any place else? Like
I think,
we see, I'm assuming you're in Avondale, right? So.
Yeah, I'm at the racetrack. We go back on the air on FS2 in about 25 minutes for the afternoon practice. They've already qualified today. And by the way, David Malukas won his first pole, so that's going quite nicely for replacing Will Power, who crashed again today. He's crashed 3 times
basically in 3 days since moving to Andretti. What was your question again? Oh, the tracks. Kansas one that comes to mind because that's in the early portion of the schedule. It's a track IndyCar has raced well at before. So it really depends on the Cup schedule. Maybe Circuit of the Americas. But that was last weekend, and IndyCar has a great date there with St. Petersburg. I don't think NASCAR can come to Long Beach because IMSA is there, and there's not room for all of them. NASCAR owns IMSA. It's an important weekend for sports cars. I don't think they want to kick IMSA out. So I'm not sure how many other opportunities there are, but I think one or two are enough because you still want to make it unique. You don't want this to happen all that often. But if it just gets you back to a place like Phoenix, it's worth doing it.
Kevin Lee of Fox, he's got a little bit more time with us from Arizona on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. You mentioned the start for Will Power is not certainly what he would like. How did we witness the start of the season? A lot of it is the same we ended last year, I guess, up front. Did we not last weekend?
It's the same old story. It's can anybody beat Alex Palou? And I think the answer is no. Enough times to win a championship. I'll be shocked if he does not win the championship. But if anybody else is going to win the championship, they need to take advantage here today. Most of these road and street courses we go to, Palou is a prohibitive favorite, and he's even figured out ovals. He's been great at Indy, and he won last year. And then he won on a short oval last year as well and was strong everywhere else. But he hasn't totally got the short ovals figured out, so he's just good. He's not great, but he's good. Now, if he somehow wins this weekend, unfortunately, the championship is going to be over very, very early. But my guess is he doesn't win. And say, for example, Joseph Newgarden wins. He'll start second, and he's always good at these kind of tracks. And Palou finishes where you'd expect, seventh or so. All of a sudden, the championship is tied. And there are a lot of contenders, and Palou would probably be, seventh or eighth on that list. The Penske's will be good. The Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan cars were the best they have been in maybe a decade on a short oval. Graham Rahal qualified third, and Mick Schumacher doing the first oval of his life. He got crashed out on the first lap last week. He qualified fourth, so that's a massive story. I think Alexander Rossi can win the race. I think Pato O'Ward can win the race. Maybe a Kyle Kirkwood. I'm not sure the Andretti cars are great, but those are the main ones. But all the Penske's are going to be super strong.
Kay Lee, the dominance of Palou, good or bad in your viewpoint for IndyCar and racing in general?
I would prefer to see it spread around a little bit, but you can spin a positive because I found the Jordan Bulls era pretty entertaining. People enjoyed the Schumacher Formula One era. Really, then the storyline can become, can anybody beat this guy? And on days when they do, you are witnessing something really unique. And it's also nice just to kind of enjoy excellence. And I really think he's already in the top 10 of all-time drivers. And if he wins another championship this year, he might be in that top 5 of all-time drivers. But best case scenario is what has always been great about IndyCar is the parity, and anybody can win. That's why we have to stand up and applaud this guy, because everybody's in basically the same type of equipment, and we know his teammate in the exact same equipment is in that top 5 list all time, and he's beating him just about every week. Scott Dixon is who I'm speaking of. So Palou is the real deal, and Formula One missed out on him, and that's to our benefit. We're going to enjoy watching his brilliance.
Hey, I watched Jackson Lee. I want to say little Jackson Lee, but I can't because the dude's like 6'4", 6'5". But I watched him. I was present and accounted for on Saturday.
Nice.
Make sure I was very proud of him, Kay. I was, man.
He did well. So when it got rained out with practice, and I think he had 2 laps in the truck before the race started, we still didn't know how it would go. I think he was like 8 seconds off the pace in those 2 laps, which was to be expected. So we just had him drop to the back to start the race so he could just kind of ride around and try to learn how a stock car worked. And he still passed a few people in the first stage, started racing a little bit in the second stage, and he was running very competitive lap times, with the people that were like 5th to 15th, and he had worked his way up to 17th and I think he was still 18th or 19th when he got his full welcome to NASCAR moment when some guy just punted him, blatantly ran into the back of him and turned him around one of the slow corners. And I think that was the third driver that this guy had punted in that race, and I'm told he does it every week. And now you're a NASCAR driver. So, then he was a half a lap back. And then it turns out that the seat fit was so poor that he lost all feeling in his legs and started cramping up and really couldn't press the brake pedal. So when you look at the box score and see he finished 5 laps down, he just kind of rode around at the end, and they had him pit like 4 times to try to adjust things and couldn't get it any better. But he only lost like 1 or 2 positions out of that. So, but it was good. He was on the pace to maybe finish top 15, and they'd like him to do another race if we find a little bit of budget to help out the team.
That is great. So you got anything hard targeted for him to try to do?
Well, the next one he's really only approved for road courses now. He would need to test to do an oval. So they'll run at Watkins Glen in early May. So that's the next one. In fact, I haven't been able to talk to the team today. They wanted to chat about it. But there are, I think, 3 more road courses there, Lime Rock, and then that street race on the Naval Base in San Diego. So those are all possibilities. And what I would say is if you watch the broadcast, my friends at Fox took care of him because he got about 10 minutes of airtime for all of our sponsors in the race. So it was, I would think they feel that was money well spent for Brown and Chapman and California Closets.
Hey, I was proud of it, though. I don't know if I've ever been as interested. I will occasionally watch the Truck Series, but I don't think I've ever been as interested as I was on Saturday.
Those races are kind of fun, and the O'Reilly Series, too, because they're a little shorter. They're more like the length of an IndyCar race. I enjoy NASCAR Cup racing, but they are long. They do the Indy 500 every single week, basically, with the length of those races. And, the second and third level NASCAR series are more in the hour and a half to 2 hour races, which, fits our attention span a little bit better.
Hey, I know you got to run. Well done. Have a great weekend out in Avondale, and we will catch up again. What's funny now, we get you as a race reporter now. We miss you as a play-by-play voice. You were doing some college basketball toward the tail end at the start of the racing season. Are you missing it?
That was fun. Yeah, I like to be diverse. Helps keep you employed. So I think it went well enough. So hopefully Fox lets me do a few more next year. So that was good. We're on at 3 o'clock tomorrow on Fox. Joey Logano is joining us on the broadcast tomorrow. And then Townsend and Hinch are going to be on the Cup broadcast on Sunday on Fox. Right,
I will say
is where the Cup broadcast
Logano's a good dude. Logano has been on this show a number of times. And he's always – I know a lot of these guys know what they're doing. They're engaging for a reason. But he's always really good to the show, and I've always appreciated that too.
He seems like it. I just talked to him a few minutes ago on pit lane. He seems like a nice guy.
All right, Kev, go to it, man. We appreciate you.
Thanks, John. Talk to you later.
It's Kevin Lee right there of Fox. Jackson Lee was in the Truck Series race last week down in St. Petersburg, and I hard targeted that just to watch. It was interesting because if you remember, Kevin Lee was telling us last Friday about how they had to reconfigure the truck because at 6'4" he was too big, and the steering wheel was basically between his legs. And I thought, well, you got to take the floorboard out like he's the Flintstones or something like that. But they ended up adjusting it, and he had a nice run there on Saturday, without question. And then when they're telling you with sponsorship and the team that they're cool with giving you another opportunity on a road course like that, that is even better stuff right there. Kevin Lee, podcast, 1075thefan.com. I know a lot of you are asking me, too, all right, where are you? The Dugout is where we are. Coors Light brings us to you. Virginia and College, we're out on the patio. This is Nick Baxter's place. This place is awesome. Yeah, and we've got a little music outside, but the best part about it is we have been gifted this day. In early March, we have been gifted this day. So for you not to take advantage of it is you deciding not to embrace, not to take this gift of weather. Hey, we've jacked around with crappy weather for the better part of what, 2-3 months now? So this is a day, and I know you got a lot going on. You got sectional semifinal Friday night. You probably got a son, maybe somebody in your family. The family members are going. Most popular, I think, of the evenings of tournament play for the boys would be sectional semifinal Friday night because so many teams are involved in this. But, man, just go ahead and kick out of work a little bit early. Slide by the patio here at the Dugout, have an ice-cold Coors Light, shoot a little basketball game. You can ask me. I just noticed this, James. Have you noticed I got hit with a ball yesterday? And I didn't notice this until I shot this video a little bit earlier, but it looks like somebody punched me in the face. Did you notice that?
You do got a little bit of redness around the eyes.
It looks like somebody punched me in the face, and nobody punched me in the face yet. The night is still young. Nobody's punched me in the face just yet, but it looks like somebody. A bunch of people were saying, "Man, what happened to your face?" And then my logical reaction is, "Well, what do you mean I was born this way?" And then they say, "Well, wait a minute, you got a red spot right there. Did you get punched?" I got hit with a basketball yesterday when I was in Hinkle Fieldhouse, and I didn't think this was bad. And then I go home last night and go, "What the hell is this?" That's what it is. So you can tell with the video that I shot before we did the show, and if you're watching via the AAA Membership Lounge YouTube Live, you can absolutely tell what is going on right there. It's weird. Basketball related, though, for sure. The Dugout's our location. I mentioned the Pacers coming up later on tonight. That's a 10:30 start, 10 o'clock your coverage here on the Fan. And then coming up tomorrow, college basketball. We're going to be eyeballing a couple of different places. And mind you, 11:30 a.m. Butler pregame show with Mark and Nick. That is from Chicago with DePaul matching up against Butler. But clearly in West Lafayette at Mackey coming up tomorrow. That is a CBS game. But you have Purdue on Senior Day. There is going to be much to celebrate. They sidestepped the potential pitfall that was an embarrassing loss on Senior Day in Evanston to Northwestern the other night. So we'll see if they can put a couple together and close out strong against Wisconsin. That is coming up tomorrow afternoon. That tip time is at 4 o'clock. Again, that is on CBS coming up tomorrow. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, a little bit earlier. 5:30 is the tip. IU and Ohio State in what ultimately could be a play-in scenario. Now, it appears that Ohio State is solidly in. I will tell you this, that Joe Lunardi was on with us yesterday, the bracketologist, and Joe Lunardi mentioned that he believes that IU right now is solid. But let's just say you lose at Ohio State to a light team, then you're probably going to have to make that up in the Big Ten Conference Tournament. And let's face it, there's not a lot of belief that this IU basketball team can make up too much ground in that in Chicago. But they've not done that even with better teams in the past. So I don't know if anybody's going to be buying that whatsoever. But that is coming up tomorrow as well. IU Ohio State. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers podcast, 1075thefan.com. And I am watching on the text line of 317-239-1070. The Fan Invitational 2026 golf outing presented by Franciscan Health. We are winding down today the early bird special. And obviously you love golf. Get you and your buddies that love golf together. Join us. Hopefully you love us. I don't care. Even if you hate us, it doesn't matter. Just be a part of a fun event. You can eat. You can drink. And then those of you out there that have suggested you want to challenge me to a three-point shootout, the goal will be out there. So that is going to be your opportunity to challenge. I'm probably not going to roll to your place where you have some huffy goal hooked on the back of your garage or some bullcrap like that, because you're telling me right now, hey, I'm better than you, I can do this better than you. Seriously, if you're better than me and you can shoot threes better than me, then sign up for this, haul your ass down there on April the 30th at Legends, and we'll see. We'll do it, because I'm not coming to your house. Now, I'm always playing, and you can probably find me someplace, but this is going to be the best opportunity for you guys. You guys are all flexing right now on social media. This is the opportunity to try to back up what you're flexing about. And then play golf and eat and drink and have a hell of a time, too. That's coming up April the 30th, the Legends in Franklin. You can sign up 1075thefan.com. I mentioned, too, 317-239-1070 is the text line. Let me know when you're signed up so I can tell everybody that you're signing up, because I want to be a part of it. I want to make sure we know. But we want to get as many people we can to save you money for what is going to be a spectacular golf outing. Again, that is April the 30th with our friend Ted Bishop at the Legends down in Franklin. It is going to be a fun time. 1075thefan.com. All right, quick break. We'll come back. I have heard that Mike Wells is set to join us coming up on the other side of ESPN Radio. Brandon Gaudin talks college basketball. That's coming up at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. We're at the Dugout with Coors Light on this Friday. It is glorious, and why you're not here is absolutely befuddling to me. I don't get it. Why you're not here outside of the patio enjoying what is a spectacular early March afternoon here in downtown Indianapolis. Haul ass and get here. I'll hang with you for a while. I got no place to be, no place to go, except for the Dugout with you. Coors Light brings us to you. Also, there's a smaller version of a basketball goal over there, too. We can do that as well. Don't go anywhere. AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Hey, John here for Big Red Liquors. Did you know the Big Red Liquors powers the JMV Takeover every Saturday night? Hold on a sec. Do you hear the music in the background here? This is exactly the type of music you're going to hear. And what's unique about the JMV Takeover is it is all request, 6 hours all request, where they say, hey, we've got this jackass of a guy. We're going to go ahead and turn over our number one rated radio station to this nerd. And he's going to play all of your requests. 6 hours. That is the JMV Takeover. And Big Red Liquors powers that. Also, it powers your weekend of fun in whatever you're looking for. For example, ice-cold Coors Lights. Great deals to go right now. I would roll out with that if you can at Big Red Liquors. The Pappy contest that they have. You may ask what I'm talking about. Pappy Van Winkle. Have you had that before? You guys, I have seen it in the past, fight over it. This is your chance to get signed up at 100 plus Big Red Liquors locations on a daily basis, and you can be put in a lottery to purchase your very own bottle of Pappy or Buffalo Trace Antique. It is that simple. We're talking high-level stuff that you can be a part of. Tell them I sent you to Big Red Liquors, 100 plus locations, the Speakeasy, the Red Hot Deals, and the powers the JMV Takeover every Saturday night on B105.7. To find out more, that's BigRedLiquors.com today.
The Ride with JMV.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Mike Wells of ESPN Radio in a second. Yeah, James, you tell me, give me the heads up. Hey, shout out to the Benedict Matherin jersey over there. Man, I'm such a fan of Matherin. Seriously, I love watching Matherin play for the Clippers. I'm going to miss him around here. Pacers-Lakers coming up later on tonight. They lose the other night against Matherin, who had an outstanding game. I think 8 of 12, something like that from the floor. 23-8, and the win for the Clippers. It is the Pacers and Lakers coming up later on tonight. Pat Boylan's got your pregame coverage right here at 10 a.m. Quick Colts note, former Colts note, Ryan Kelly, the former Colts center who spent last season with Kevin O'Connell with the Minnesota Vikings, has decided to call it a career. He has retired. So one season in Minneapolis with the Vikings, and Ryan Kelly has decided to retire. And, of course, we're going to be following certainly next week with free agency, all that is going on. As this is kind of like turning me loose here on the patio at the dugout with Coors Light. That's what you're doing to the rest of the NFL with Alec Pierce. You're turning him loose. All right, James, we got to go ahead and intro here for Mike Wells of ESPN Radio. Crank that up for me a little bit so I can hear it. I got to give you the walk-up, talk-up right here. Mike Wells of ESPN Radio is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline.
Last night I saw you standing. I started pretending I knew you, and you knew me too.
Hit this high note, brother.
And just like a Roni, you were too shy. But you weren't the only, 'cause so was I. And I
yeah, that's
you
voice cracking.
Since. Now I built up my confidence in that.
Man, that did it right there, Mike. I'm going to jump in when the voice starts cracking. When you start butt cracking, I got to jump in right. I'm going to tell you what, that was a hell of an effort. I would have to ask you. Hey, Mike Wells of ESPN Radio joins us. What? So Tevin Campbell was so earmarked to be something special. What happened to our guy there in the early 90s? What happened?
Man, you know what? They need to have an unsung about Tevin Campbell, because I'm curious on what the hell happened to him too. Because listen, he decided to go on a little date with Ashley Banks on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and then all of a sudden it was like Will Smith said, "Keep my cousin Ashley's name out your MFN mouth," and Tevin Campbell vanished.
Well, I thought that, was he not kind of a Prince prodigy back in the early 90s?
He really was. But you would have thought early 90s, I was in high school. I was hoping to be able to grab a girl's hand, get a little kiss on the cheek back then.
Right.
That, he was going to be somebody that really kept going and was in that time of where R&B music and solo acts were a thing. But unfortunately, our boy Kevin couldn't stick around.
Didn't make it, man. There were a lot of acts that didn't stick around. I don't know if you saw this or not. I want to say this is at the Madam Walker. I know our guy B. Swift or DJ King or Kenny Kicks could tell us at the Legacy stations down the hall in the building, but I think Teddy Riley is coming to town at some point in the summertime. Now, it's not with Aaron Hall and Guy. I think it's with other dudes. But Teddy Riley, obviously, who created, a genre of music that we absolutely love, is back. And one of my favorite interviews of all time on this show, to be honest.
Listen, I just hope the folks down the hall, if Teddy Riley is coming, that we're able to come through. Because I'm not going to lie, Jay, I'm still butthurt, brother. Every time I look on social media, I see a TikTok about our boy Bobby Brown looking like me, out of shape, trying to sing every little step of My Prerogative. it cuts through the soul on me, man.
Hey, there's nobody that's more disappointed than me because I always come through. Always. I mean, yes. Always coming. I'm like, I'm like the Trojan Ease of radio finding tickets. I'm always coming through, and I failed miserably right there. I failed you.
You're still batting .990. You're in the Hall of Fame. You're shooting 85% on threes. And by the way, I saw you, and I got to tell you, you made a lot of shots. But damn, your jumper looks broke, but it goes in. So what was the cause of you at Hinkle Arena burning up the net?
Let me tell you this. Like, my jump shot normally doesn't look like that, but part of the problem is I shot 3 rounds, and that's 75 college three-pointers. And after the first round, I was a little bit short. I was too short. So I blew the whistle, and I raised my release point to make sure that every time I got it over the rim, because anybody that's ever shot a basketball in their life, if you're short, if you're on target but short, there is nothing that drives you nuts more than that. And I had an issue with that in round number 1, so I adjusted that. And Mike, with that broke-ass looking thing that everybody's talking about on social media, with that broke-ass looking thing, it took me from 10 to 17 in round 2, just for that alone.
Okay.
Because it's not like I'm not working with anybody defending me. I just want the same release point every single time. And in round 1, I was incredibly short, so I adjusted it in round 2, and it worked out a hell of a lot better.
Hey, that's being smart. So are you taking part in the three-point shootout college Final Four weekend?
Well, I mean, I put up 17. Can any of these clowns do anything like that, you think? You think anybody's going – and I should have put 20-plus up. I kind of jacked around on the last rack a little bit. So I probably could put up 20-plus.
We got to get you in the competition, man. We got to get you in that competition because you might be able to go in there, and even though you're old enough to be all these college kids' daddies, you still got an opportunity to get up in there and get some buckets.
Mike, yesterday I was 56. I'm 56 years old, and everybody else in that was under 30. It was ridiculous. Under 30, and they got their ass whipped. Is what happened right there.
Hey, that's what they do when they.
And I feel bad. One was my boss's. One was my boss's son. I feel bad about that one.
Oh, nothing. Tell them it's nothing personal. I just hope.
But Samson,
I hope to hear you on the air.
Samson
Monday,
knows I love him.
This.
Samson knows I love him, and we're both Indiana State grads, so we got that going for us. We're all good. And he shot the ball really well, too, and probably should have beat me. Mike, I ran out of gas a little bit in the third round. I did. I ran out of gas. And my shoulder, I was thinking about this. I took 75 threes yesterday in a 20-minute span. There's no way. I play 3, 4, 5 days a week. I don't probably take 75 threes over a week's time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Hey.
Much less 20 minutes.
I would have been dead, had no legs. Myself would have definitely been short. I would have been crawling from rack to rack by that third round.
Yeah, it was weird. And I just I played at Hinkle before, so I know sometimes with that distance I can be on target but a little bit short. So that's why I kind of raised the release point and kind of just kept that going there. It was really weird. I was kind of going sideways a little bit too, but it was a little bit weird. Mike Wells of ESPN Radio joins us. The Dugout with Coors Light. It is an awesome patio event we're having here on Virginia and College. I did want to ask you, so we're going into a weekend where now all bets are off regarding Alec Pierce. Is there any way in your mind that he returns to Indianapolis with the Colts, or is this guy gone and going someplace else?
Man, you think about who would say the young lady he had the interview with the other day. He sounds like
Kay Adams is her name. Yes,
he was giving all the politically correct responses, but him saying he earned the right to do this and stuff. You got to think unless the Colts are really gonna back up that Brinks truck over there at his house in Cincinnati, the highest bidder is going to be able to win them out. That loyalty process, them telling there's going to be a loyalty stance in this. And when you think about Daniel Jones and the Achilles, potentially not, who knows if and when he'll play next season, and the flaws on his roster. I know free agency starts next week. The pressure and the criticism on Chris Ballard is going to get higher and higher, especially if they kind of wait for that second or third range of free agency on the market with players.
So Mike Wells of ESPN Radio. I feel the same way. Do you feel like that this whole thing is being botched?
Man, I want to hold off before I say for sure. I want to get to next week and see how the first week of free agency goes before I say it's being botched. But you got to think, man, they would have been willing to go ahead and take care of Alec Pierce, get a deal worked out. But you got to question. You got to question: is it headed in that direction?
Here's why we think it's botched, because we've seen so much that it's been that. It's not like we have a great deal of evidence to the contrary here, Mike. I mean, most of this has been that way. And I'll double back to what I said all along. Part of what they're selling on how they want you to believe that they can be good this coming year has been based upon what happened prior to the Daniel Jones injury. And what really took place before that, too, was the threat that Alec Pierce has. So my point is, if you don't bring back Daniel Jones, you don't bring back Alec Pierce, why have you messed around with bringing back Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen? Why have you not reset and moved on if you thought this could be the situation? Because, again, that's what they're trying to sell us, is that the first 10 weeks of the season, that's what this team is about before their quarterback was injured. Well, clearly they're compromised if Alec Pierce is not in a uniform with the Colts coming up next year with how they played in the first 10 weeks of the season a year ago in mind.
Man, I wish I could disagree with you on that, but you're completely correct. You would think that is a great way to look at it. If you were believing in things, you'd make sure everybody who was there pre-torn Achilles will be back, along with upgrading, certain positions. And man, I don't even have a rebuttal for that, Jay, because I'm in 100% agreement on that. So it sounds like, if I'm hearing this straight, you have no faith that come, we'll say first week of April. After
they haven't
pulled off.
Yeah, they haven't. I think when you let it get to this point, why would you, if you're Alec Pierce, and I know maybe they can give you a little bit more money, but if you want to be with a quarterback, and maybe you like Daniel Jones, that's okay, but he also referenced in an interview with Kay Adams, how many different quarterbacks he's played with here. But if you're looking at New England and what they have, or San Francisco and what they have, or Kansas City and what they have, because you know what each of these teams have been trying to do, and Kansas City's trying to clear cap space. Why, with where they are compared to where the Colts are and how the Colts have been going, why would you decide to come back? I mean, it has to be ultimately about money, but if it's about money, why haven't you already decided that it's about money and eased the mind of Colts fans?
No, you're 100% correct. And by the way, I got to shift gears real quick. I probably got the best text I've gotten in a while. A friend of mine just sent me a text saying, "Bro, how can you forget Kay Adams' name?" That might be the funniest text I've gotten. I'm being made fun of that I can't remember Kay Adams' name. She's the one that people were talking that Shams was dating, right?
I don't know. I just remember it because it sounds like an 80s porn chick's name to me. It's weird. Like Kay Adams. I go, wait a minute. Like, I know there was like there's like 3 or 4 Ks in 80s porn that I can remember, and she's not one of them. So that's how I remember it.
Oh my God! You talk about getting off in the wrong direction on it. I didn't think we were going to be going that way. But
no. Well, I mean, that's how. No, I do. That's how I remember things, and with her name, that's how I remember that name. As ridiculous it may seem.
Boy, I'm scared to wonder what you was doing out in the barn down there in Southern Indiana as a kid growing up, brother.
Buddy. Let me tell you what, all my Playboys were underneath the hay bales, brothers. Let me tell you that. All of them.
Hey, so here's the question: when I come on next Friday,
yes,
is Alec Pierce an Indianapolis Colt or is he with a new team?
I don't think now that he's open to go out and find something that he wants, there's any way that he's back.
Holy cow!
I am going to take the unfortunate approach and say he will not be. So
holy cow!
Neither will Zaire Franklin, and we'll see how much of a pay cut or adjustment in salary approach and how they spread it out. What the Colts are going to have to do, but they're doing that over there right now.
Oh my God, boy! The outrage in this town come next week.
Yeah,
I mean, the fan base has already been turned up. They've been turned off for years, and I'll say they rightfully so have had every right to be pissed off. Every right to be pissed off, and now it's going to be even worse come next week.
Yeah, it is, and unfortunately, you don't have any faith because of what you just explained, because of the results of the past. You have no faith. And that's kind of where everybody sits right now. And until further notice, if they were to prove that you can, be faith-driven in the decision-making that they do, that's okay. But until that point, we're not there right now, and we haven't been for a while.
No, yeah, you're right about that. Hey, before you kick me off the air, I got to give a shout-out to Laney's Center Grove Lady Trojans.
Yes.
For winning the state championship last week. Layla and I were in the field. I was watching that game, and best of luck to Zach Hahn. I saw he stepped down as a boys head coach there.
He did. I've told everybody who needs to be the next head coach, but I don't know if anybody's listening to me or not. So I'm keeping it a secret on the. I'm not going to put it out on the air yet, but I'm keeping it a bit of a secret until I get the thumbs up to make it public. But I've got a pretty good idea who needs to be.
Hey, so are you trying to say you're about to go from? Are you going to be double dipping, doing a 3 to 6?
Yeah. Well, I will say this: I'd have a really good relationship with Eric Moore. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So that part would be good. I like Zach a great deal, but you got to have everybody's got to be pushing in the same direction. I kind of wonder at times if everybody's down there pushing in the same direction, and everybody needs to be. And that's what you saw with Kevin Stuckmeyer, the head coach down there. I mean, you can see that he's got everybody right now, including parents that can be asinine at times, pushing in the same direction. And that's hard to do, Mike. That is hard to do with a school that size and a lot of influential or what they think is influential parents. That is very hard to do. But Kevin and Eric, they do that. That's the type of head coach they're going to need to take over for the boys program. And by the way, Grayson Gilliard is 100% Miss Basketball in the state of Indiana. Outstanding season, deserving of that. Would you agree?
100%. I'm going to tell you, Brian. I mean, what did she score? Probably about 85, 90% of Center Grove's points. And I know the voting has already been done, but she snatched away. If there was any doubt, she snatched away the Miss Basketball trophy during the second half when Center Grove came from behind against Norwell. I mean, it says a lot when she can lead them in scoring, and she always wants to guard the other team's best player. I mean, they might as well go ahead and send the Miss Basketball Award down to the south side of Indianapolis and give it to Grayson Gilliard. And
hey, Mike, she's a badass girl. And this is a compliment. She's a badass girl, and I love to see it. She goes out there and wants to be a badass every single time.
It's not often you see a player, male or female, kick everybody's ass and smile while doing it.
Yeah. It was awesome to see. There's no doubt about that. And unbeaten on the season is a hell of an accomplishment. Hey, tell the family I said hello. And then next week we shall be doing it again because this is the season of live shows right now, and especially outside like we are at the Dugout.
Oh, hey, and I know you got a tank top on. You're showing your guns out there, man.
Oh yeah,
and living your best life.
I am, man. I appreciate you, pal. Have a great weekend,
brother. You too, brother. Talk to you.
Mike Wells of ESPN Radio. Hey, look, we've been graced by the presence of Matt Bailey of Greene County right there. Oh, hell, now we can all feel really good about the fact that Bailey is here. Everybody. Indiana. Matt Bailey, what team were you in Super Tecmo Bowl at Indiana State back in 1992? You always take the Bills and Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas and Andre Reed? Jackass. No wonder. I think I always took the Bears with Neil Anderson. No wonder I got my ass whipped all the time. Shout out to Super Tecmo Bowl and Matt Bailey over there. Hey, we're at the dugout. We're with Coors Light. Quick break. We'll come back. Brandon Gaudin has a lot of responsibility as a play-by-play voice, from the Braves to what he does in college basketball, but he's got NCAA tournament stuff coming up, and he talks with us at the top of the hour. We'd love to see you on the patio outside the dugout. Coors Light, Friday, great weather, Central Indiana. Soak it up. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Hey, John here, and this is a silly question. Are you ready for spring? The team at Miss Sims and Sundown Gardens is ready with new loads of plants, trees, and shrubs each week. You'll find what you need to turn your yard into a place you love. Now, if you're not planting just yet, that's okay. They have houseplants, decorations, pots, pottery, and gift shops are full of unique wreaths and spice mixes and even fire pits, plus patio furniture. At Miss M's location, too. Miss M's and Sundown Gardens can help you plan for the spring. Come in with ideas and questions and leave with a plan and the plans to turn your porch, patio, or yard into a dream outdoor living space. They've helped me for years. Found gifts from my mom. You know how hard she is to buy for right there, and the gift shop is incredible. Trees and shrubs they picked out from my yard are looking incredible right now. You got that right. That's Miss M's and Sundown Gardens. They've got everything you need to turn your yard into a place that you love. And by the way, Denny Smith and I will talk this up coming up tomorrow. That's a part of Denny and Pat and Terry on 93 WIBC with the Home and Garden Show. That is coming up tomorrow. I love that relationship, just like we all love Miss M's on State Road 135 in Bargersville and Sundown Gardens, 186 in Spring Mill Road in Westfield.
The Ride with JMV.
We're putting the band back together.
Forget it. No way. We're on a mission from God.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Tucker Wetmore is a country music artist. Coming to Everwise this summer, month of July. Going to thank our friends that set us up with this. I got a pair. James, you want to do this on the text line? 317-239-1070, the text line. And see if everybody's moving on this right now. Normally we do that over the course of the week. Sometimes on a Friday we decide to do it on the phones. All right, text line engaged, 317-239-1070. Tucker Wetmore, number 30. If you get in and James gets you, you're going to go see that. Tucker Wetmore, from what people explain, I don't know a great deal of the background, but evidently Tucker Wetmore is a great date concert. Let me tell you what, I've seen some of you dudes out there. You guys need a great date concert for damn sure. This is it for you. And as I always like to say, then you can thank me later. Coors Light brings us to you. We're off of Virginia and College, southeast side of downtown. This is such a great location on the patio at the Dugout. Nick Baxter is the owner. He's going to join us, I think, toward the tail end of the show. Brandon Gaudin. James, help me out. Is Brandon still doing the Atlanta Braves play-by-play?
I believe so.
Braves play-by-play, and we don't care anything about that. He's also doing the NCAA tournament. He's just a great dude. Former Butler Bulldog play-by-play voice. And Brandon's going to join us coming up on the other side. Stream the app, HD Radio, AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. Let's go ahead and start a poll here. Did I really get hit by a basketball, or did I get mouthy and somebody smacked me in the face last night? What do you think? And my friend J-Law, can I mention this in closing too? We're going to rid. We're going to say goodbye to our good friend J-Law's prostate. Right? We're going to say, see you later. We'll talk to our good friend J-Law coming up before the end of the show. Dugout. Coors Light brings us to you on this glorious Friday in Central Indiana in early May. Thank you all for joining us. Brandon Gaudin is going to join us on the other side. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Hey, John, for Andy Moore, Buick GMC, 131st State Road 37 in Fishers. Hey, I got a message from my friend Eric Wilson last night. Eric Wilson runs things at Indiana's Best. Eric Wilson is going to give you the opportunity, are you ready, to get in that new ride of your choice. That new ride of your choice, because they have the inventory for you to roll off right away. They have the inventory, they have the deals, and I mean by the deals, they have incentives to buy, which are coupons for you to save. And they also have the service after the sale. Triple threat, you like basketball. You guys ever get into a triple threat in basketball? Triple threat action you're going to get with my friend Eric Wilson at Indiana's Best. Do not waste your time going anyplace else. That's in Fishers. Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st State Road 37 in Fishers.
The Ride with JMV.
Hans, Bobby, I'm your white knight.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
I don't know if you can find a better spot than what we are right now. Coors Light brings us to you from the Dugout Bar. The Dugout Bar is at Virginia and College on the southeast side of downtown Indy. This is a glorious day in central Indiana. And this is the Breakfast Club on B1057. Did I just hit the post on that, James? I was practicing for tomorrow night.
It's almost like you're a professional.
You want to know what stratospheric era elite level talent is playing drums on this particular song, James. This would be Right on Track by the Breakfast Club from I want to say 86. You know who's playing drums?
I do not.
All right, you want to guess?
Phil Collins?
It is not Alex Van Halen. Madonna is playing drums on this track. True story.
I didn't know she knew how to play drums.
Look it up, by God. Let me tell you. Look it up. Playing drums on that. Yeah, the Dugout's our location. Coors Light. That's James. I'm John. Deb's the on-site engineer. J-Law is going to tell us his story coming up in a minute. We love him. You know that, friend of the show. Nick Baxter is the owner. He's going to rejoin us. I see Emax out there. We saw David Daring, former producer for our station a long time ago. Cam's the engineer. Saved my ass on the JMV takeover last week. Yeah, we're all present and accounted for. But again, we're looking for you to be a part of the early bird special in our fan golf outing, April the 30th, presented by Franciscan Health. Less than an hour for you to jump on board and save money. You want to save money, don't you? I just pumped a little Emax later, buddy. I just pumped a little Ethel yesterday, and I wasn't saving any money. You're going to save money on this. Early bird special until 6 o'clock. And again, you can have a shoot-off with me. The goal will be there. And for all of you that are challenging me on social media right now, this is going to be your chance. This is going to be your chance to back up what you're talking about. Because I'm saying I don't buy it. I mean, I know what I can do. I don't buy what you can do. But you can show me and show us at the fan golf outing. Play golf, eat, drink, play a little hoop, shoot against me, all at Legends in Franklin. And again, the early bird special, that concludes at 6 o'clock later on tonight. So tell me at 317-239-1070 how that is going, won't you? Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, welcome back, a friend of the show, the former Butler Bulldog play-by-play voice, MLB with the Braves, and has a significant spot in the upcoming NCAA tournament. Brandon Gaudin joins us now. Hello, Brandon. How are you, buddy?
JMV, it has been forever. I'm doing well. How are you?
I am very happy for you. And listen, I know you've done EA Sports and all this in the past, and you've done NCAA tournament stuff before, but this guy gets you all fired up, man. You're doing basically everything right now, aren't you?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. We're in crossover season with baseball getting going and then the NCAA tournament coming up. So, yeah, I've done the tournament a handful of times on radio. This will be the first time switching over and doing it on the TV side of things. And can't wait. You know, as a kid who grew up in Indiana, following Bobby Knight's Hoosiers, obviously this is a dream come true for me. I've dreamed about this since I was playing on the little Nerf hoop in my parents' bedroom as a kid, playing out the entire tournament. So to me, it's the best time of year. It's the best sporting event in any sport across, whether it's professional or college. This is my favorite event. So I can't wait to get it rocking and rolling.
Is there anything in particular, and I know you're not going to be able to pick and choose what teams you have and what matchups you have, but is there anything in particular, any team that you would really kind of cross your fingers and hope that you're going to see?
Well, oddly enough, of all the Big Ten and Big 12 games I've had this year, I have not had Michigan. Now, the way that we don't find out where we go until Selection Sunday. The way the sites are and how they try to pair the announcers, it's unlikely that I would be with Michigan. But that's a team that I have wanted to see in person this year because they just impressed me so much on television. I think, look, we all kind of know who the clear 4 or 5 top teams are right now. I still think, though, if you're going roster position by position, I still think Michigan has the deepest and most talented team and the highest ceiling. If you had me just to pick one team right now, I would probably take the Wolverines. So selfishly, I'd love to see them in person, JMV, but that probably won't be my group's assignment come tournament time.
Well, yeah, it's funny, too, when Brandon Gaudy joins us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, is you get Michigan and, Duke has a win over Michigan recently as well. And, Duke is right up there. But I would agree with you. Michigan has a lot of aspects that are necessary. Now, one piece that they're down, player personnel-wise, is a backup guard. And listen, it's not something that is overly magnified, but it's something that ultimately could be problematic from a team that has been so cohesive from top to bottom this season.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, anytime you're going to lose someone that can help out with foul trouble when you get into an NCAA tournament situation, and when he tore his ACL, was that big news? Absolutely. And look, I have not seen Duke in person either because I don't cover the ACC as closely. Are they right there with Michigan neck and neck? Absolutely. And I know that we've seen a head-to-head contest. But I just still think when I saw Michigan out in Vegas earlier this year when I was covering that Players Era tournament, and I went to one of their games after my game was over just to watch them in person, and they beat Gonzaga by 150. And I know that's a few months ago, but the explosion that I saw in that game and the ceiling of that Michigan team when they're clicking on all cylinders, I still think they are as dangerous as can be. It does not mean that they will win it all. It does not mean they can't get bounced in the second round, but I still like that Michigan Wolverines club over anybody else.
Yeah, I agree with you, too. And you kind of – Brandon Gaudy, by the way, is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. You look at that. You look at a team like Arizona. They are stacked at the top, but you still have – I think you see, even in this era of NIL and picking and choosing how you want to build your roster, you have a great deal of vulnerability, even with these teams. And, I talked to Dusty May more than just occasionally, and he even knows that with his team that, on a night when things aren't going well and there's not a matchup or two that are going your way, you're incredibly vulnerable, and that's what this tournament creates.
Yeah, so what's interesting about the transfer situation, JMV, and you know this as well as anybody, so college basketball is older, but it seems less experienced because a lot of these teams are dealing with juniors and seniors and fifth-year guys that while they've been playing basketball for a long time, they have not been playing together because they're just plucked from all over the country and thrown together over the summer and told to form a bond and get ready for the postseason. I still think that's why a team like Purdue intrigues me, and I know people are down on Purdue right now given their recent run, and I fully understand that, and Purdue has their warts. But when I'm looking at NCAA tournament teams, I look for a couple things. I look for not only older players like we're talking about, but older players that have played together. Obviously, Purdue has that more than any other team in the country. So when the going gets tough, I think they're going to have guys that are going to gel better than anybody else. And then I look at three-point shooting. And that's where, to me, just to take it Purdue-centric for a second, JMV, that's where they're going to need Foster Loyer to not disappear like at times this year. And even last year and the year before he has. If he is hitting his three-point shots and getting open with everything else that Braden Smith and Trey Kaufman, Wren and company bring to the table, I still think Purdue is an incredibly dangerous out and a team, because of those reasons and their experience and how well they know each other, that can make a deep run in March.
Yeah, it's Brandon Gaudin on the Eddie Moore Automotive Group hotline. You know, what's interesting about what you're saying, and I would tend to agree with you, the problem that I think Purdue has overall is one of the most important aspects to be able to survive some moments that are kind of signature. And those are the moments where, in Purdue seen that in the past with the Carson Edwards team against Virginia, are those moments where you need a defensive stop or your defense to step up. And I don't know if this group has it in them. That's the problem, because they just don't have, I think, that important stop in them against a higher level team, or at least they haven't shown it in a while. And I think that's a problem that will again occur in this tournament at some point. It's just bound to, given the level of play.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. One of their weaknesses from the beginning of the season, it's not only defending, it's in particular defending the perimeter. Elite, athletic 1 and 2 guards, even a really athletic wing that can put it on the deck and drive it. I don't think they have much trouble defending the post. It's just when you go up against elite athletic guards in the postseason, do they have the guys that can stay in front? C.J. Cox certainly can. He's an exceptional defender. But can they exploit a couple of those other guys defensively, like a Fletcher Loyer, like a Braden Smith? If they're going against athletes all over the floor at the 1 through 3 spots, even 4 spot 2, I think you're right. I think that's their kryptonite, and if they don't make shots, I think that's where they could really run into trouble.
All right, Brandon, you're a former voice of the Butler Bulldogs, and I was over there on Wednesday, and really it was a thumbnail sketch of this Butler season in general. You have a good first half, and you feel good, and you can't throw it in the ocean or do anything in the second half. What do you feel that this program has to do moving forward to be at the level of competition that is necessary in the Big East?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's the day and age it is, and their AD Grant Leyendecker is awesome. I knew him. He was there when I called games there on those teams that went to the Final Four, and he knows that it's a situation right now where they need more money. And Butler is a small school that does not have a big donor base. It's not because the people that went there don't want to give money. It's just the school is so small relative to the competition at a high major level that to bring in the dollars year in and year out to try to fund a roster to compete in that league is really, really hard. And do I think that they can do it? I do. But to expect them to finish, top half of the Big East on a regular basis, like I think people were hoping for when they moved into the conference, it's just going to be a tall task. And I don't envy Grant Leyendecker. I think that he was the perfect guy for the job to take over for Barry Collier, but they're going to have to try to get as creative as they can, in addition to that TV money that they're obviously getting, and to finding ways to get NIL dollars through the door at Hinkle Fieldhouse to build a roster to try to compete in the Big East. It's not easy, but they're going to have to increase that budget, I think.
It is interesting how we see the haves and the have-nots, and thank you very much. It is even more magnified now. And Brandon, I don't know how you feel. I don't think this world in which we live is going to last forever. But you see teams jumping at the opportunity to take advantage of it while it does. And for some teams, it is just not something that they are able financially to do.
Yeah, and that's why I think you look at the Big East this year and it's down a little bit. I think you might continue to – not that the Big East still isn't a great league. It is. And, of course, you've got UConn, who is at the top of the heap, who can definitely win a national title. but I think you're seeing a little bit of separation from the schools that have power football from the Big East, which is just basketball-centric because they don't have the big alumni bases. They don't have the football dollars coming through the door to help fund basketball. So it's just, they're playing in a different sandbox right now. And so to me, the Big East is going to be really interesting to watch over the next 5 years. Do those dollars separate even further, or can the Big East try to either maintain where it is or become even a little bit better in the next couple of years to close the door on those bigger conferences? But, the last thing I would say, JMV, and I know you've had a lot of these same conversations, I'm sure, with some of the people in D1 basketball right now. When I go to every shoot-around or every practice, every single head coach is facing the same problem this time of year. Even the teams that are having success, those coaches are having to recruit their own players back on their team next year. Every one of them will already tell you, I've got 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that have already told me they're transferring. They're taking calls from agents. And to try to do that and to build any type of continuity, it makes it almost impossible on these programs.
Brandon, I was at the Holman Center with my alma mater, Indiana State, on Sunday, and they win their regular season finale against UIC. And I was talking to Nathan Christensen about the makeup of the team, and we're talking about a team that's, 10 games under 500, was bounced by Valpo last night in the first night of Arch Madness over in St. Louis, and he was talking about how many dudes they already knows are on the outs, and it's constantly happening. These kids and their representation are taking calls throughout the season. It doesn't matter. It is chaos. And I mentioned this, Brandon and Thad, on Wednesday, Thad Mata. What keeps me coming back is my love for basketball. But it becomes increasingly more difficult as we go down this particular path in basketball. But basketball will always keep me coming back, as it will a lot of people.
Yeah, but the thing is, for guys like you and I that grew up with some of those teams that were so dominant, you think of the old Kentucky teams, the old Duke teams, the old Indiana teams, you had the same guys back every year, and that made you want to cheer for not only the jersey, but the guys in the jersey. Now we're almost just cheering for the jersey. And because there's so much betting in basketball and all sports, but college basketball, the NCAA tournament's going to continue to be popular. The ratings will be through the roof. The sport is not dying. It's the opposite. But I think the magic elixir will be when they can figure out how to get these guys to have to sign contracts of at least 2 or 3 years, so there's some continuity to limiting how much they can bounce around. I'm not saying don't pay them. After pay them, that's fine. But, okay, you're a professional athlete. If you're going to Duke or Indiana or Butler, okay, great. Sign a 3-year deal worth $4 million. And then you can't just leave and go to the next place. And then you at least have continuity. These fans get familiar with these players again. It's more stable for the coaches, for the players, for the programs. And I think if they can get to a point where they do that, it'll make college basketball so much more enjoyable to watch.
Well, and that's going to be a path. It's going to be interesting, too. I was talking to Grant Leindecker, as you mentioned a little bit earlier on Wednesday, too. And, there's going to be a point where, the coverage is going to change and you're going to be paying to watch. The pay-per-view stuff is going to be behind a paywall of sorts, and that's going to play a role. There's going to be a lot that's going to be playing a role even beyond, Brandon, what we're talking about right now. So that's why my suggestion is, like it was in football, like it is in basketball, that if you don't want to be put off, you just have to try to embrace the basketball that's being played and have to put all that stuff out of your mind, because it's going to become more prevalent as we move along. There's just no way about it.
Yeah, and the good news right now is there are at least heartwarming stories of a ton of guys who are 23 years old who, they went the JUCO route and small D1, and now they're getting an opportunity to play on a big stage, make some money, and we're going to be able to share those stories during the tournament. And a couple of guys that you haven't heard of are going to become just great stories throughout the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. And I think the basketball, because everybody has stayed around for so long, is going to be really, really good. I think that the quality on the court is going to be great. I just hope in the next 5 to 10 years we can come to more of a tranquil place where we don't have these guys bounce into 3, 4, or 5 schools, and then it makes it easier on the fans to digest the product all the way from November 1st until April 1st.
It's Brandon Gaudin with us. All right, so you also do the play-by-play for the Braves. What are we thinking about with MLB? I'm a big Reds fan here, and they scored about 1,000 runs in spring training in the past week. I don't know if that's going to hold. I don't know if pitching is going to hold. But if we're viewing the NL outside of the Dodgers, which we know is the giant image in any room as far as teams are concerned and championships are concerned, what are we talking about?
Yeah, well, first on spring training, when I went down to Braves spring training for the first time 3 years ago, and the Braves were just scoring 1,000 runs, and I remember going up to a coach and just saying, that's my first year on the gig, but everyone's looking really good. He goes, let me tell you something. You take spring training results and $3, and that'll get you a cold cup of decaf. It doesn't really matter until the regular season starts. But, yes, look, the Dodgers are, because of the dollars that they spend in Ohtani, they're head and shoulders above the rest. It's going to be an interesting season to watch. They are the big, bad, evil empire that the Yankees used to be back in the day. But for germane to my job with the Braves should be very good this year again, contenders to win the NL East. And I think the rule changes that Major League Baseball has implemented in the last few years, and they've made a couple more this year, to speed up the game, to make it a better product on TV and in person, I think has really, really helped the game tremendously.
All right, man. I know your Jurickson situation wasn't good either with that news earlier this week.
Yeah, I don't know if you know it, JMV, but you can't use performance-enhancing drugs. They don't want you to do that.
Hey, let me tell you that. I'm not a professional, but I think I probably use them like every hour. I think I used them like before I started the show. Yeah. But nobody gives a crap. That's what the difference is. I can use them all day long. Nobody cares. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's out the whole year. It's his second time being caught, and it's really unfortunate anytime I thought we got through all that with the steroid era, and guys realized that, you can't do this, especially in the game of baseball. But, nope, Jurickson Profar done for the season.
I really liked his game when he was with the Padres too, Brandon. Before he got there, I really liked his game.
Yeah, there was a time when he was a top 10 prospect in baseball, and then a couple of years ago, out of nowhere, he turns the corner and has a successful, awesome year. Braves sign him, and then, boom, he gets slapped. And then, so the speculation started that the reason he had that great year is he was using the PEDs and nobody caught him, and that's likely the scenario. And then he finally got caught, and then he thought he'd go back to the well one more time, and who knows if he'll ever play baseball again. It'd be tough to walk into any clubhouse and look your teammates in the eye after getting caught a second time.
There's no doubt about it. No matter what level of talent you have, that probably ends it for you right there. It really does. That is tough. An entire season. Now, can he go anywhere and do anything else in another league? Well, no. What is it? Does he just sit around and work out on his own?
Yeah, sit around. So he can have access, as I understand it, to some of the spring training facilities, but he cannot be on any major league grounds, have anything to do with a strength coach, with a hitting coach. He's kind of out on his own, just like he was last year for the first half of the season. And then he technically has one more year left on the Braves deal, but I would think that they part ways. I can't imagine the Braves ever would let him come back. And then what happens in these situations is someone like the Rockies, who's just desperate, will probably sign him to a small contract, give him a shot. But at this point, he's going to be, I think, 32, 33, which isn't too old. But after sitting out a year and a half as a hitter, it's going to be tough for him to find his footing going forward. Yeah.
Hey, pal, we'll stay in touch, too, before the tournament starts. I love having you back on the show, man. Let's do it again soon.
Yeah, it's great. By the way, Madonna can also play the guitar, JMV. I just want to let you know that, too.
Look at that. That's a fan of the show right there. Brandon Gaudin, the outstanding play-by-play voice. He's a part of it, Andy Moore Automotive Group Hotline. My brother, we'll do it again here very soon.
All right, my friend. Take care, JMV. See ya.
Brandon Gaudin, he's going to be in the NCAA tournament doing play-by-play, television play-by-play, does the Braves as well, former Butler Bulldog. Play-by-play voice on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline for Coors Light. We're off of Virginia and college. This is the Dugout. We'll come back with your calls on the other side. Hey, James, I will say this. I'm going to probably have to go and hit the can here really quick, so you may want to give me a little bit of time, just a little bit of a wide berth to do that. We'll come back. We'll close out the show. We'll talk to Nick Baxter again, and my friend J-Law is here. We've got some news. I know you guys all love J-Law. We're going to bring him on the show as well and talk him up. He is a friend of the show and get you set for the weekend, too. Don't go anywhere. Stream the app, HD Radio, AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live, 93.5, 107.5, The Fan. Hey, Johnny, for Express Pro Tire and Auto, maintain your late winter or early spring road readiness. I've explained this before, too. You have holes in the earth that are opening up, and they are huge. And sometimes you just can't help yourself. You're going to center cut that bad boy, slam right into it. That compromises your tires, your rims. This time of year, too, you've gone through a really tough winter. Yeah, make sure that your brakes, your brake pads, your tires, fluid exchanges, all this is in order so you can go from one season to the other with Express Pro Tire and Auto. And by the way, hey, Carmel, Indiana, Keystone Way, his name is Mike Alcorn. Mike Alcorn is the absolute best. If you're in Hamilton County and you want to make sure your car, truck, or van is running the right way, maintains that going into a new season road readiness, That is Mike Alcorn, the Carmel location, Keystone Way of Express Pro Tire and Auto. Believe me, you have guys like Mike all across the board in Express Pro Tire and Auto. Central Indiana locations, many for you to make sure you stay on the road the right way. To find out that location nearest you and the deals that are going on right now, that is expresspro.com.
The Ride with JMV.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, honestly, this is an important part of a great place. So I'm at the Dugout Bar with Coors Light, and I think Nick Baxter would tell us this too if he were here. Very important part of a great place is having very easily accessible bathrooms. Well done right there, brother, because I was right in and right back just in time. Here off of Virginia and College, we have been blessed today with an incredible afternoon in Central Indiana. So I've told you all day long, you got to take advantage of that. That means you got to get down here. The ice-cold Coors Light is flowing. It looks like I see Kev and Chris over there. What's up, brother? I see Kev and Chris. Are we out of the koozies, the basketball hoop koozies? Oh, we don't have any more of these? Man, these are badass right here. So I'm glad people came out and grabbed those because I was going to take every last one of them had we not. Hey, J-Law, would you mount up over there? Because I want to get your message on this, too, and make sure, Dev, he is good to go. Again, Dugout, got plenty of time. I'm going to hang around here a little bit later on than usual anyway, so we got plenty of time to hang out. Pacers, 10:30 tonight, tip time. 10 o'clock coverage, Pat Boylan, 93.5, 107.5, The Fan. Hey, tomorrow, 11:30 a.m., Brandon Gardner, I just talked to Brandon Gardner. Nick Gardner and Mark Minner have the call for you. Butler and DePaul, that tip time's at noon from Chicago. IU on the road in Columbus. Don Fisher a little bit earlier. That podcast at 1075thefan.com. And you have Purdue hosting on Senior Day, Wisconsin. That's dangerous, too, with the way the Boilers have been playing. But they will honor the senior class, which shall be emotional, I gather, coming up tomorrow in West Lafayette. That game, by the way, is on CBS. And we're going to get started next week on Colts free agency and more on Alec Pierce. The Zaire Franklin situation and what they're going to try to do to stay cap-worthy financially. I would assume some adjustments are going to be made, and if one of those may end up being that of Michael Pittman Jr., the wide receiver. All that and more for you coming up next week, and we're going to be on the road coming up next week, which is always a good time. But our friend J-Law joins us. You know J-Law from this show. You know J-Law from hosting back in the day a Backyard Bourbon broadcast, which was incredible. I believe it to be one of the hottest days of the summer, that particular summer. And I think I don't know if I was suffering from drunken state or heat exhaustion, but it was one of the two, and it was problematic. I weighed a lot more back then. That was also problematic. But also participant, JMV Takeover every Saturday night. Simply put, he is a legendary friend of the show. And you got a prostate that needs to get the hell out right now, don't you?
Yes, sir.
So what's the timetable there?
March 24th, I'm going to have a prostatectomy. I've got prostate cancer diagnosed 3 years ago, and we've been keeping an eye on it with active surveillance, blood tests, and biopsies. And over time, it's gradually gotten worse. And this last biopsy, my PSA, which is the blood test, which I highly recommend every guy over 50.
Got to do. I got to do that too. You've inspired me because we were together in South Florida. For the national championship game. You've inspired me to do that too because I've half-assed that to this point.
1 in 8 men over the age of 50 will eventually have prostate cancer.
And there's no doubt I'm going to be one. I mean, seriously. I have like half-assed this the entire time. So now is the time to take full advantage.
But no, it started out. I had BPH, which is benign prostatic hyperplasia, which basically is a large prostate. And kept an eye on over the years, had the blood test. I was on testosterone because I had low T. And then once my PSA got over 5, 6, I got a urologist in my life. And basically kept an eye on it, had some blood work, biopsies for a couple of years. And once the PSA got above 12, was a little bit of a concern. And there's a item called a Gleason score that they do as well in the biopsy. And mine went from a 6, which is okay, and you can just take an eye on it, watch it. It went up to a 7 this year, which means it's gotten a little more aggressive. So,
let's beat the hell out of that aggression here, man.
Had a appointment yesterday with Dr. Reichert at Urology of Indiana, and set an appointment for March 24th.
Was he listening to the show too right now?
I don't know. I don't know, but Dr. Dugan, one of the docs I work for at the Cancer Care Group.
I think all the doctors in Indy listen to this show because I'm very, very smart.
Dugan wants me to have a going away party. So
get the hell out of here, prostate.
So I think I'm going to talk to Susie.
Here's what that this show and all the friends of this show that are we got your back in this.
Absolutely.
And we know that you can handle this. Are we feeling good about everything?
Oh, absolutely. Right and you asked me earlier if we
stay positive around these parts.
Positive. And you asked a while ago if you can joke about it. I joke about it all the time because I think humor is a great form of medicine, great stress relief. I've actually, what's weird, John, is my anxiety and depression over the years has pretty much gone away once I got diagnosed because I just don't worry about it a whole lot anymore. Things aren't that important.
Yeah, you know what? And I know that that's prevalent, and I always want to be a part of somebody's life that has that because I have kicked all that's ass to the curb. I am not blanking around with any bull crap.
Right.
None of it. Zero.
Yeah.
And I'm 56, and I'm going to have some – I don't want to cuss right now, but there's some things I can't say. I'm going to have fun until it's over. And I've always had a great deal of admiration because you are built to your fabric the same way. And under these circumstances, that's how we want to view this, and that's how we want to go about overcoming this.
Absolutely. Well, our buddy Jim McCann in Southern SoCal.
We love him.
He's doing the same thing, going through it. So highly encourage guys. Man, don't get off the macho train, the ego. Go see your doctor. Get your blood
I'm just
test,
a huge dumbass. That's my problem. It's not macho or ego.
Yeah.
I'm just stupid.
No, but there's a lot of guys in our age group and older that
no doubt
don't like going to the doctor. And it's a simple blood test. Sometimes there's what I call the Fletch exam.
Yeah.
The Moon River, the digital. But it's over in a few seconds. It's well worth it. Highly curable and treatable if you catch it early.
Grandmaster Flash, I believe, has got this on the message right for the 1980s. Is that the message, Grandmaster Flash? This is your message to everybody out there, and we appreciate it. That's one of the reasons why I want to have you on, but more so than that.
And I'm transparent. Anybody wants to hit me out on X or Facebook, or I'll give you my number. I can talk all day about it.
You're not like Jake Query going to give your cell phone number on the air?
No, I don't think I will.
Can you imagine? Hey, James, can you imagine if I gave my cell phone, like Fulton would call me every 5 minutes? Hey, Fulton, how you doing? I love Fulton, though. But
no, John, I truly value our friendship and your support. Had a blast in Florida with you, and all the guys and ladies I've met through the show and stuff.
Well, hey, we got your back.
Yep.
So you just go about your business as you will and conquer this if you've done things in the past. We love you, brother.
Yes, sir. Love you, too.
That is our guy, J. Law, right there. J. Law, who's dealing with stuff. A lot of times, these are the stories that we want to make sure that you hear because you could have this going on in your life or this could be a part of your life right now. And it's always good to support, and everybody needs support. And as much as we like talking sports, and as much as we're oftentimes critical, overly critical, nonsensically critical, at the same time, we're all rooting for everybody, certainly in life situations. And for J-Law, that is one right there. J-Law, thank you very much for that. The Dugout is our location with Coors Light. We thank you for joining us outside. And look, there's Nick Baxter again joining us. He's the owner of the Dugout. He's the guy that put this together. Hey, Nick, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, brother. One of the great things about a great place is a bathroom that's like 20 steps away. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah,
because if Brandon Gaudin would have said 3 more words, I was in trouble right there. I was going, I've got problems right here. But man, what a great place! Get the sunken in situation right there. Is this all your brainchild?
Yeah.
Well done.
Yep.
I didn't know your brain was that big, but clearly it is. Well done.
Look at the big brain on Nick. Yeah. No. Just little by little.
Yeah.
Obviously, old historic bar, been around since 1954, and just over the last 8-9 years, just kind of evolved into what you're seeing now. So yeah, it's great, in a great neighborhood. I got great employees, and it's a ton of people who patronize the place that just appreciate the hell out of them. It's been a fun 8-9 years. It's flown by.
You have, I think, an eclectic mixture of Matt Baileys, Paul the Mailmans that are here all the time, but you also have people that come in here for the first time.
Yep.
And that to me is a sign of a great spot, because that is hard to get. You normally either have one or the other depending upon your location, but you get it all and constantly get it all here.
Yep, absolutely. We see we got Coach Carpenter over there. It's a little CG.
Yeah, I saw him. Yeah. I saw him over there too.
Yeah, so we take all comers.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you just come in.
And you mentioned this location it's grown and just gotten better and better year after year down here. Now, I will say this. I call this, is this Fletcher? Do you call this Fletcher Place?
Yep. Fletcher Place neighborhood.
Sometimes I say it's somewhere between Fountain Square and Fletcher Place. And I always, before I get here, I go, oh, yeah, that's Virginia. I think I call it Fletcher all the time, like a jackass might. But then when I get here, I go, oh, yeah, that's Virginia and College. But, I mean, you're in the general vicinity. When they have Italian Fest in June, that's just right down the street here.
Yep.
It is a great
this is Holy Rosary neighborhood. Fletcher Place maybe on the other side of Virginia, if we wanted to get technical about it. But, I mean, all the old Italians that live in the neighborhood would say it's Holy Rosary, I think. But yeah, no, we're been here since 54, man. We're still chugging along. So, yeah. Thanks.
Tell everybody what you got going on later on tonight and for the weekend, too.
Yep. Mark Mbotten's getting ready to start after the show's over here. After we pack up, he'll come on and play outside. So we got that to look forward to, probably 2 or 3 hours, this evening.
Sweet.
IU game tomorrow, Purdue game tomorrow. So,
Yeah,
always
Butler at noon.
Butler
the Pacers later on tonight. I mean, you guys have a little bit of everything on, too. And, and obviously you're going to go through all the conference tournaments next week and then Selection Sunday right here. This is the place. So this is home.
Yep. I'll be here and be cheering the teams on and making sure that we got some cold beer, some cold Coors Light for the patrons.
These guys have been great, too. They've just had the Coors Light folks. I was trying to get them on. They kept the buckets coming here, too.
Yeah.
I think they underestimated the power of how much sometimes I can drink.
Yeah, we've got exciting. We just found out we're going to get the Borg Warner Trophy here at the Dugout.
Really? Wow.
May 14th. They're going to have it out here. I don't know if they're going to let us drink beer out of it. But we're going to have it on display.
It's kind of like the Stanley Cup. You can drink beer out of that. Why can't you drink it out of Borg Warner?
Yeah. So Borg Warner, May 14th. We just found that out. Great partners with Miller Lite on that. So we're excited there. But
nice.
We're entering the best time of the year.
We are.
JMV. March Madness, baby.
We are. March Madness, and then it gets warmer like days like today, and we'll get into the month of May here relatively soon, and Man, it's going to be great. Man, Nick, thank you very much. You know how much I love your place.
Yeah. Well, one last thing.
Sure.
I just want to give a big shout out to Coach Hahn down at Center Grove.
We love Zach a great deal.
Congratulate him on a great career.
He's had a great career, and you want to step away and retire from high school basketball. Man, that dude's been playing basketball and being a part of basketball all his life. Man, that is a good deal. Settle down, hang out with your kids and fam, and don't miss a moment. Yeah. That is very important.
Yeah.
I like him a great deal.
Hey, thanks for being here today.
Always. Thank you, Nick.
It. Yep.
Nick Baxter right there. He is the owner of the Dugout. We should take a break? All right, we'll take a break, come back. We've got this, and then I think a little bit after 6 o'clock, I'll remind you of a lot of things here. Outside on the patio, the Dugout on Virginia and College. Coors Light brings us to you. You guys stay right there if you want to jump on board, 239-1070. I'll chat at you as well as we close out the show on a glorious Friday in Central Indiana with 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
And the beat goes on, yeah. And the beat goes on.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, Sting is coming to the Murao National Center in October. This is going to be a great show. Would you like to see Sting? James, you want to do this on the text line? How do you want to do it?
Let's do it over the text line.
All right, 317-239-1070 over the text line. Sting, month of October, tickets available. Let me tell you this. I talked to Jimi Hendrix the other day. These bad boys are going to go fast because this is going to be a show where you're going to get Sting and his solo stuff. You're going to get Sting with the Police. So don't jack around with this. Try to win these bad boys right now. 317-239-1070 on the text line. You are wide open. Number 30 is going to go see Sting on us. And you know how much we love music. We love putting you a part of live events. 317-239-1070. All right, there's something else I have right here, too. So Kevin and Chris over there, we have a Coors Light mirror. Now, hey, hold on a second. This is not just for the people on the radio. This is for the people here, too. If you're on the patio and you have I may need my magnifying glass like I'm Sherlock Holmes because I can't see squat anymore. What the hell's wrong with my vision? Why don't I have, like some vision place sponsoring this show? I can't see a damn thing. Seriously. I think somebody's grandpa standing up here. All right, I need ticket number 386-2026. Did somebody, hey, I hope you won because I may as hell read that wrong because I can't hardly see it. So if it's you, hey, just give it to the bearded guy. I think that's good. Do it. Well done, pal. Well done. The Coors Light mirror from Coors Light right there. I'm going to tell you what, Dev, I can't see a damn thing, man. 2.5. Was it really? Oh, you're 2.5? That'd been weird had you won right in front of me. Holy crap. Way to go, brother. I appreciate you. Hang that thing up. Every time you look at that beard in the mirror, think of me, okay, pal? Do it. There you go. Thank you. Seriously, how are there not like James? How are there not like 15 places out there that do like vision enhancement that are like jumping on and sponsoring my ass right now? Because I can't see anything. Do we know? I know Erica was here a little bit earlier. I got to get Erica on that because I can't see anything. Anybody out there work for a vision place and want to sponsor the show and give me new eyeballs? Part of the thing yesterday, I won that three-point shootout, but I'd have been much better had I been able to see something. Jeez, what the hell is going on here? Hey, I do know this, too. I want to remind you because as 8 minutes away now from 6 o'clock, the Fan Invitational 2026 golf outing presented by Franciscan Health. The early bird special is done, gonzo at 6. So, log on and make sure you're a part of this. I don't care if you love golf. If you don't, doesn't matter. Because we all love a good time. And this is going to be a great time. We're going to be at the Legends in Franklin, April the 30th. This is no longer that time in August when we do it. We have amped it up to April the 30th, and we're all going to be down there. So here's what happens. We've got golf, we've got beverage, plenty of beverage, and we've got food for you. And you and your friends and the camaraderie and the fun, but they're going to bring a basketball goal. And especially for all you jackasses out there that think you can beat me in a three-point shooting contest, that's when you're going to be able to do it. So as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I'm likely not going to roll to your place or you have your Huffy goal on the back of your garage guttering. We're going to do this here. So if you think you can beat me in a three-point shootout, if you've been talking junk to me today or yesterday, then now is your time to prove it. You can prove it coming up on April the 30th because we will have a goal out there for you, and you can have a shoot-off versus me. Now, I'm going to kick your ass, but you can have a shoot-off against me. But it's going to be fun. And I want you to sign up because if you sign up right now before 6 o'clock, that's your opportunity to save and to save big. 1075thefan.com. The early bird special ends at 6. Don't be caught with your pants down. Get involved and get it done right now. See, I'm hearing this too, by the way. Somebody just sent me this. I think we have the Carb Day announcement, which is coming up in the next couple of weeks. And somebody had just sent me a message. I said this to be true, that Carb Day, in my belief, is going to be huge artist-wise this year. We had somebody, I think, tell us earlier this week, and he mentioned Creed, but I don't think Creed because Alter Bridge is playing someplace else. So it could be Scott Stapp, who is the lead of Creed. But you can tell by what they're doing with the announcement a couple of weeks ago of the Snake Pit and the fact they're bringing in Zed. Zed is at cost between $350,000 and $500,000. So they are putting more resources, i.e. more cash, into this. So you can expect that coming up for Carb Day. That announcement is not too far away for Carb Day, and we'll have that for you, I'm sure, with Doug Bowles right here. All right, quick break. We'll come back. James, give me the time limit we have coming up after 6 o'clock. What do we got?
We are going till about 6:08.
6, that is a long damn time for me after 6 o'clock. 6:08 is what you're saying?
You're correct, 6:08.
6:08, and then what do we have on the other side of that? Joe Lenardi's
we'll
bracketology?
We'll be re-racking Joe Lenardi, and then we'll have Colt's last word at 6:30.
I got you. All right, Lenardi's going to join us. He joined yesterday, and he likes where IU is right now, but that was a precursor to IU winning coming up tomorrow in Columbus. IU, Ohio State tomorrow. Purdue, Senior Day, hosting Wisconsin at Mackey tomorrow, late afternoon. Butler, early afternoon, 11:30 pregame coverage right here on The Fan with Mark and Nick. That's in Chicago versus DePaul. Pacers later on tonight, 10:30 tip time, 10 o'clock coverage begins with Pat Boylan. Pacers and the Lakers from whatever crypto.com place that is in Southern California. That's coming up later on tonight for you. So quick break. We'll come back. We got a little bit of anything goes, and when we'll dive into Joe Lenardi and get you to the last word with the Colts and a lot more for you as well. Again, log on 1075thefan.com. The early bird special ends at 6. Fan golf outing April the 30th, presented by Franciscan Health. Be a part of that at Legends down in Franklin. Log on and be a part of that right now. 1075thefan.com. Quick break. We'll come back live from the dugout with Coors Light on this Friday with 93.5 and 1075 The Fan.
Okay.
The Ride with JMV.
The only time I have my radio on is in my car, and the only thing I listen to is JMV.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
We love you, Reb. We do. Dugout, Virginia College, Coors Light. Man, what a great day this has been right here. I know Mark's getting ready to fire things up here acoustically. We got anything goes here, James? I hear anything. Is that Florida Georgia line and their crap right here? Okay, anything goes. 239-1070. I've got about 7 or so minutes to chat with you at 239-1070. I should remind you, tomorrow night, 6 until midnight, the JMV Takeover is on B105.7. If you've never heard that, it is a recall of old school radio back when nobody half-assed it. You know, you actually were in studio and you did it. You didn't tape it on Wednesday and try to BS everybody about how you're live. No, this is real live radio where I take your request and we go across the board. I'll give you a great example. So I was just playing, as you guys were in break, I was just playing Rusted Root here, Ecstasy. That has become one of the more popular requests for the JMV Takeover on a Saturday night. So it is multi-decade. We can go, not a lot of today, because I don't want to play somebody that just got really famous from YouTube, but we do a lot of the 2000s, a lot of the 90s, a crap ton of the 80s and 70s. It is a fun, it's exactly, if you've been here, it's exactly what I play right here. It's kind of a mixture of it for a good time. Good time radio, that is tomorrow night, the JMV Takeover, 6 until midnight. All request radio on B105.7. All right, Joe Lenardi from yesterday and a smidge. 239-1070 is that number for anything goes, and Jay is going to lead after 6 o'clock. Hello, Jay. How are you?
JMV, what's up, man?
Good to hear from you, pal. What's going on in your world tonight?
Congrats on that 3-point victory.
Man, yesterday, it's funny, right? I had to learn some things, and I've never done a 3-point shootout where you're going from the racks. And people got on me because I was over the line and near the line. Well, they put the racks over the line, so it was hard not to. But you had to adjust it a little bit. And, man, I got gassed there in the third round. That's like 75 college-level threes. And I'm not going to say for a 56-year-old man because I think I'm an ass whipper at 56. I'm not worried about that. But I was worn down in that third round, honestly.
I bet. Sounds like a bunch of haters out there.
I love it, though, because you know what's going to happen? They're going to come to the golf outing and shoot against me, and we're going to decide it right there, and they're going to get their ass whipped, and then they're going to know, right? That's what it's all about.
There you go.
Yes.
So a lot of questions out there on Purdue. My question, you got one of the, if not the best point guard in the country, and no disrespect to P.J. Thompson, the assistant coach, but why do I need to see him throw up his little whiteboard every single possession on the offensive side when just let Braden Smith go and create and do what he does?
Well, I would tell you this. I don't think the problem is that. I think the problem is with their defense. And we were kind of talking about that, Jay, a little bit earlier. I think that defensively is something that this Boilermaker team, and Matt Painter is going to join me next week, and we'll talk about this. I think defensively is something that this Boilermaker team makeup-wise, they're not going to be able to fix. I think some matchups are going to be tough. Now, I will agree with you. You've got to consistently play better. I mean, against Northwestern up until the last 2.5 minutes or so, that's not good. And there's still a level in which they have to reach. But I think their biggest issue is on the defensive end. And I don't know, Jay, if that's something they're going to be able to fix if you even more, hand it over to the decision-making to Braden Smith. I think more of their issue is on the defensive side of things.
I definitely don't disagree. I feel like the past couple of years, their offense has been extremely fluid, and it just seems a little stagnant. Just get Braden Smith that high ball screen with CKR and let him create, put the shooters on the perimeter, and go from there.
And Jay, I'll tell you this, the other teams have been doubling that. So they're forcing either Braden to go out near the half-court line or to get rid of the basketball. So that ends up being others and their decision making, and that's been problematic.
And I get that, but TCR's become a pretty good passer, and if they can get their shooters to make shots like Cox did, and if Lawyer can get going, I just feel like they're overthinking it on the offensive side.
Well, I'm with you on this. I have a belief that they're going to catch it, and they're going to find a rhythm and
totally
a groove.
Agree.
I do, and I guess I believe that because I like Matt as much as I do, and I want to see it for this group. The only problem is, Jay, with both of us here, they've given us no indication that they're on the verge of doing that. And I think tomorrow, even on a senior day where you should be as amped up as possible, especially with those guys in their final game at Mackey Arena, until we see it, you're really not going to believe it. And I really do need to see it. And I think Boilermaker fans need to see it starting tomorrow.
I agree with you. They're not a team that anyone wants to match up with in the tournament, but
yeah, I hope that they can live up to those lofty expectations. Jay, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jay is a part of Anything Goes. Yeah, Lenardi, last check, had them at a 3. The Boilermakers' high water is probably going to be, if you can do some work, ending up getting a 2. But, yeah, that seems pretty far-fetched right now as well. I mentioned Matt Painter. I'm going to get Matt on the show coming up next week, and we shall talk about that. And we're going to get you set for the tournament, obviously. The conference tournament week, the major conference tournament week. We got Mo Valley going on right now. Their finals coming up on Saturday. But the major conference week is coming up this week, and then into Sunday, and then Selection Sunday. And we'll get you all fired up going into this week as well. Again, all the college basketball tomorrow, 11:30. You've got Butler and DePaul from Chicago. You've got Purdue, Wisconsin later on in the afternoon. IU and Ohio State, 93 WIBC. Pacers later on tonight, 10 o'clock coverage begins. Pacers, Lakers from Southern California. James, thank you very much. The Dugout, Coors Light, we all love you. If you missed it, the bracketology of one Joe Lenardi is coming up right now, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, bracketology is the major focus. IU a winner, Purdue a winner, and we'll find out about other things from the guy that knows, Joe Lenardi of ESPN's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Good afternoon, Joe. How are you?
I'm just great. Thanks for having me.
Where are we going with IU after that win over Minnesota last night, snapping a losing skid, which is good, no doubt about that. Where are the Hoosiers in your latest bracketology?
They are just in on the good side of the cut line and part of the first 4 in Dayton, and certainly have a great opportunity here to climb above that with the finale against Ohio State, and of course in the Big Ten tournament next week. They've been kind of a hard team to evaluate because, you know, when they're good, they're pretty good. But they do lay some eggs, and they managed to avoid one last night because that was the kind of game that could have kept a team out of the tournament.
So what do they have to do in your terms, Joe, to solidify to make sure they're a part of it?
I think they need one more tournament level win, meaning, you know, not the bottom tier of the Big Ten, whether that win is, you know, this weekend or in a subsequent round of the conference tournament. They could conceivably make it without that win because the bubble, you know, more teams are playing their way out than in, which is pretty standard practice at this point in the calendar. But certainly if the goal here is to solidify, if the goal is to certainly try and avoid the opening round and be, you know, slotted right into the main bracket, one more win over a team that's either already in the field or pushing for it, like Ohio State, I think that would do it for the Hoosiers.
If they were to lose in their finale in the regular season Big Ten to Ohio State, does that compromise their position as a part of it?
Well, I think it just means Now they're going to have to make up for that lost opportunity some other way, and that would be, a Big Ten tournament game, and we don't know who they would draw to start. Probably not someone that would enhance their resume, but then have to win a subsequent round like we were talking about a little bit. So I think, I'm going to stand my ground and say, give me one more up win, meaning a team equal or better than them right now, and that will do it.
Joe Lunardi of ESPN, the bracketologist on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Joe, you are speaking with one of the largest in the nation must-win situation guys. Would you describe that game against Ohio State as a must-win situation?
No. I think it's one of two opportunities that they'll likely have to win that next, put us over the hump game, whether it's in the regular season or the conference tournament won't really matter to the committee. Certainly, if you're bleeding crimson and cream, you want to get it as soon as possible and then start, playing for seeding. And Indiana now has every opportunity to do that, but Ohio State's not too far from them on the bubble, and they're playing with an equal sense of urgency.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Joe Lunardi's with us. So, the Boilermakers slotted as a 3 seed right now. Will that carry over? Can they enhance that? What do you think about Purdue, especially with that win? That was a surviving situation in Evanston against Northwestern last night for a team that's kind of been knocking around, certainly here as of late. What are you thinking about the Boilermakers presently and then in the short-term future?
They are a 3 seed on our board. They're the top number 3 seed, so that means 9th overall. Knocking on the door of getting back to the 2 line where they've spent most of the season. I think they got knocked off the 1 line way back with that when they got beaten at home pretty handily by Iowa State back in the non-conference. So, yeah, there's not enough room at the end for them to move up and be a 1 seed at this point, even if they win out.
Yeah, well,
I don't think, and that'd be a pretty tall order. Having said that, I think a 2 is realistic, but in terms of pure competition, I would rather have teams that look like favorable styles to me and matchups and be a 3 more than a 2 that maybe gets a more difficult draw, at least to the eye test or geographically. I want to be in St. Louis. I want to, at worst, be on, this side of the Mississippi. And I want to be, ideally in the Midwest. That's probably not going to happen at this point because there'll be another Big Ten team ahead of them for that spot. They would probably have to win the Big Ten tournament to be in the Midwest region. But, everything's still in front of them. There's nothing that they set out to achieve at the beginning of the year that can't still be achieved all the way through the Final Four and the national championship. But I think you have to be honest with yourself and say that the 3 teams, at least 3 teams, that have kind of separated from the pack here. We mentioned Michigan. There's also Duke and Arizona. UConn lurking. Florida certainly racing here into the last lap of the season, playing as well as anybody. So, is Purdue as good as those 4 or 5 teams? Not from a resume standpoint, but can they win an individual game against any of those teams? Absolutely.
So Joe Lunardi, bracketologist, ESPN on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. How much influence will you expect just all the way around involving the conference tournaments and then specifically that of the plight of Miami of Ohio? Where are you with the Red Hawks here moving forward?
I am firmly in the if the Red Hawks don't make the tournament at this point, no matter what happens from this moment forward, if we leave out a 30-0 team, I don't care what league you're in, we've lost the plot. This is a national championship that represents all levels of Division I, and I really don't care about the strength of schedule from a 500 team in a power conference. That team has had countless opportunities to prove itself and has largely failed. Miami has won 13 true road games. Division I teams in men's basketball win on the road 30% of the time. They're about to complete the 7th undefeated regular season since seeding began in 1979 if they win their last game. All the other 6 were number 1 seeds. I'm not suggesting Miami is a 1 seed. They're not. But to say that they're not in the 60-18 field, there's a pretty massive gap between 1 seeds and the NIT. And, you know, maybe I'm going to die on that hill, but I just think it would be a travesty in the name of the sport if they did not make it at this point.
Joe Lunardi's with us. I did want to bring this up because you had mentioned, I think, earlier this week, because Bruce Pearl, for example, has been outspoken against Miami being a part of it. And you basically said, you know, you stick to what you do and, you know, what I do at a high level
I'm
right
not
here.
telling them when to play zone.
How much solid feedback have you received from that, just out of curiosity?
I've received a lot of solid feedback in terms of both flowers and, you know, letter bombs. And that's okay. I mean, this is a human process. I just think that Bruce, and I like Bruce, we worked together here at the network for a few years. I'll just kindly say I do not think that evaluating resumes and applying the nuance required is necessarily his area of expertise.
Yeah, and yeah, he would probably feel different if he were coaching a or somebody he knew was coaching a mid-level type of team or a lower level conference type of team that was having a good year.
Look, this is not complicated. Auburn in particular, okay, they've played 9 true road games. They've won 2 of them, okay? And they've had 12.5 quad 1 opportunities, half of them at home. And they've won less than a third of them. Like, we're asking the wrong question when we say Auburn would go undefeated in the Mid-American Conference. Number one, they wouldn't, because they've shown no ability to win any level of road game beyond a couple. And no one is suggesting that Miami would win the SEC. That's not the issue. The issue is, what did you do with the opportunities in front of you? And, you know, if we want to have a tournament someday of only the power conferences, fine. I wouldn't like it. I think most of the college basketball public wouldn't like it. But that's not the tournament we have now. We have a representative tournament, and I think if you go 30-1 or 31-0 or whatever it is they're going to finish with, and they were to happen to lose to an Akron, which has won 27 games, seriously? We're going to take a 500 team instead of that? I'm not buying what they're selling.
Joe Lunardi, the bracketologist, you'll find him all over ESPN without a doubt. This is his time of year. Kind enough to join us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I know you got a bail right here, but thanks for carving out a spot for us this afternoon. We appreciate that.
You bet. My pleasure.
Joe Lunardi on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I like that. A little bit of back and forth with Ian Bruce Pearl.